We are back, hopefully for more than about 5 minutes.
Hey, that'd be nice, right?
Is there a lot of construction going on in the area or something? It's like construction on the building. What the hell's happening?
Yeah, Rudy, what's happening?
Well, I believe that in this building, it's us, and then the guy across the hallway who has the CAD business, and then a bunch of dudes in bright neon shirts who build rooms and then disassemble rooms, and that is their only job.
Yeah, that's it.
Is to
That is it.
put together an office that nobody uses and then disassemble it. And in the meantime, take down our internet and all of our means to be able to get this
funny.
show up and running.
Yeah.
I know.
You never see anyone moving in. This is a weird building.
Your fault.
It's probably my fault.
No, I said your fault. I was looking at you and I said, it's your fault.
Probably my
That's all
fault.
I have to. It's probably, you know what, Tom? I think it's my fault.
You know, I did come in today and say, I want to take the show down.
I just looked at a headline and I think it's fascinating. I literally did not, because I brought up the Star Tribune website, but I was looking at Brittany, talking to her, and I look at the lead story in the Star Tribune. Why are there no lesbian bars in the Twin Cities?
Well,
How would we know there are or are not? I mean, you put up a sign, this is a gay bar. I didn't ever know that.
what happened to the townhouse?
Well, yeah, there you go. So what happened?
I don't know.
So it says the Twin Cities, too. It doesn't say Minneapolis or St. Paul. It says the Twin Cities. So I thought there were lesbian bars, a couple of them.
I thought so,
what
too.
Some lesbian women told me.
I guess it's gone. It left
Maybe
in
shut 'em down.
2018. Yeah, the townhouse.
Really?
Isn't the gay 90s technically welcome?
Well, it's all gay people, isn't it?
Right? I don't know. I'm not
so.
in the scene, the bar scene, that is. Lesbian scene, yes. Bar, no.
I really wish that what we would do is pay attention. Again, we talked about this yesterday. I've been getting railed on because I'm trying to bring people together, which people just don't want to do. I'd rather hate you. Why don't we stop putting things like this, trying to stir the pot? All you're doing is trying to get readership by stirring the pot by saying things like, why are there no lesbian bars in the Twin Cities?
Yeah.
If there are lesbian bars in the Twin Cities that we don't know about, maybe it's because it's none of our goddamn business.
Yeah.
I mean, did you ever think about that? Maybe it's none of my business where the lesbian bars are.
Maybe, believe it or not, lesbians can drink at every bar.
That's what I heard.
No,
I'm
that's
not-
insane.
That can't be happening, can
I
it?
think they card them differently.
And this whole idea, particularly in Los Angeles, in Hollywood, that you have to babysit people who are not the same color you are is getting real old.
Yeah.
I talk to Tevin about that all the time. It's like, my God, that must make you feel like you want to vomit. Oh, let me take care of you by putting in you in yet another noodle commercial. It's like, oh, good God, it's so obvious, you ass kissers.
Yeah.
I don't know why they do that. It's like, good, everybody's working, glad to hear it. But the reason they're working is because you think it makes you look like an angel.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's pandering, right?
It is pandering, flat out. Why don't we just all work together and calm down? Everything will be good. I mean, not you and me.
No, you and I will never get along.
Disaster. Why are there no Brittany bars? There's not one bar that says Brittany's only.
To be fair, any place can be a Britney bar.
Well, that's
If
true.
you try hard enough.
Back in the day, as they
I could
A
take.
bus stop.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
under the bus bench.
in a
School, high school football game. Didn't matter.
a gas station parking lot.
One of the greatest things about Florida for me, because there's so damn many people there,
Yeah.
is you'll go, like if I take a walk down to the Publix, which is the big grocery store down there,
Yeah.
and I see a man and a woman, obviously homeless, obviously big into the bottle right now. They're bobbing and weaving, right? They're sitting on a bus bench. And so I go into the Publix, and I come back out with my bag of groceries, and I was walking home. The woman is asleep, and the man is under the bench. I'm like, what?
Where's she sleeping?
On the bench.
on
She's
the
sitting
bench?
up on the bench. She's sitting up sleeping.
Oh, it's like a bunk
Oh.
bed.
And he was, it's kind of like
Yeah.
a bunk bed. Exactly, that's exactly my point. They turned a bus bench into a bunk bed.
It's very IKEA of them.
Yeah, it really is. Absolutely.
Very.
I think it's genius, to tell you the truth. Can we ever get back to the point where we can find humor in anything anymore?
My buddy Ryan Call has got a great joke. He goes, I've learned how to be an empath. Like the other day, I saw a homeless guy, and I was like, man, that must suck.
Well, there you go. That's it. That's it. He's right. He nailed it right there. Oh, that must be a tough. I got to get to my limo,
Yeah.
Although there aren't any limos anymore, are there?
I saw one on 62 the other day
Really?
and was like, oh my God, is it Burt Reynolds? What is going on here?
Right?
Bert's back in town.
Wow. I have not seen a limo in forever because everybody
No.
takes the Uber X. It's the big black SUV. That's how everybody travels now.
I know. Yeah, it's almost embarrassing. I think they still do the limo. Maybe they still do the limo on like The Bachelor.
Oh, do they?
Oh, yeah.
Like as you know, but you're right. Nobody takes limos anymore.
No.
They're kind of. I hate to say this. I don't like how dark they are all the time, and so I feel like nobody really cleans them very well.
Really?
But hey, I don't know. I haven't taken a limo in a long time.
It has been a while. There's no question about it. One of my favorite things is Jeff Cesario years ago was coming to town. So as a joke, I hired the most gaudy limousine I could possibly find.
Oh, God.
I mean, this thing had lights on the inner roof of the
My
vehicle,
God.
had lights on the outside. It was basically a traveling Christmas tree.
Oh my God.
So I pick him up, and he's got his then girlfriend with him. And I drive, and he calls me. I drop him off at the hotel. He calls me about half an hour later. He goes, "You are not going to believe this." I
Oh
said,
no, she thought.
"What's that?" He said, "She thought you were serious with that limousine." So she thought that I literally thought that would be, look how cool I'll look. She literally thought the limousine thing was serious, not a joke.
I was worried she was thinking she was getting engaged to.
Well, maybe that might be a problem too, but I don't know. She was not very friendly to me after that, I remember.
Limos, when I was a kid, were the end-all fanciest thing in the history of the world. And I remember my cousin, Susan, she was, they were like, she's, I think, 15 years older than me. We were at my Aunt Myrna's house, her mom, and Susan got engaged to by Larry. And they're married now, and they have a grandkid. But anyways, Susan and Larry got engaged in this limo, and I must have been 8 years old at my Aunt Myrna's. And so Larry says, be at the house. And they picked us up in this limo, and we drove around Fridley, and you would have thought I had died and gone to heaven.
Sure.
The whole thing. I just still vividly remember a limo pulling up at Aunt Myrna's house, and we get in, and like these Larry and Susan were engaged. It was like the best day of my life. To this day, I don't think I can get that same kind of excitement over anything.
Yeah, they had like the Book It program back in elementary school, and if you read 15 books over the summer, one of the big prizes was you get to ride to school in a limousine.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever do it?
Well, I was all about it until I got through like book number 1, and I was, man, this is never in my reach. Why has everything bad happened to me? 15 books? Those Berenstein Bears, I don't know how I'm going to get through all these. Never got quite through it.
Berenstein Bear books, bad choice. They're very wordy.
Oh, very.
And weird. They get in
Yeah.
some weird situations.
Yeah. Yeah, the Berenstein Bears go to ground zero. You're like, this guy
What?
should probably not be
They
there.
need to do less things.
It's very strange.
I swear, Berenstein Bears and junk food, and it was like fat shaming like these bears constantly. Like, Brother Bear, you're fat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good drop. Thank you.
You guys okay? Jesus Christ, we wander off the path on that one.
No, Berenstein Bear. What did you guys have growing up? I suppose you guys had
I
like See
have-
Dick Run, Dick and Jane books.
I didn't even pay any attention to that. I have literally no idea what there was. I didn't read children's books.
Do you have any vivid memory of anyone reading to you
No.
as a kid?
Never.
Oh, that kind of bums me out.
Well, I learned how to read by myself. It was actually a good thing for me because I taught myself how to do it.
No, it's not.
Why not? I became a much better. What are you going to have, my psycho dad? I'm seeing things while teaching you to read. Yeah,
You would
that'd
have
be
had great stories.
Exactly. I don't know if you noticed this, Tom, but every time there is an R that pops up, it turns into a dragon. Yeah, great. Good.
Reading to your kid and like.
Oh, we used to do that all the time.
I know you did.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's such a sign of like love and patience. And Go-Go is that age where she has to like look at your lap and then like slowly back up from like 5 feet away and then drop in. And it's the best feeling ever when she has her little book in her hands and she's beep, beep,
No,
beep.
the best feeling for you ever is when she scowls at me.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
when
that's
you really
true.
like it.
She sure mean mugs you.
I bet the first time you sat down to read
does.
to Andy, you pulled out the old Dick and Jane book, and he was like, "Actually, Papa." grandpa, I will be reading you War and Peace.
No, you're
It was
right.
the best of times. It was the worst of times. You're like, you're 18 months old. What are you doing?
I know. That's exactly what my life's been with that boy. There's no question about it. I remember one time I had a friend that came over. We had a pool out at the farm when we lived on the farm.
Yeah.
So all these people were coming over. And Andy was sitting outside. He didn't go in the pool, but he's sitting outside doing his homework. And one of my friends decided, I'm going to engage Andy. And I said, I wouldn't do that if I were you. He goes, no, it's going to be great. I want him to come over with us. So he goes over and he talks to him. He comes back 10 minutes later shaking his head. So I went over to Andy. And I said, why is he shaking his head? He said, well, I hope he didn't think I was insulting him. But he said, why don't you come and join us? And I said, I have absolutely no interest in that.
That is so funny.
That's such an Andy thing to say. Andy's very Andy-like in that situation. I love that guy. There's no question about it.
I love kids. Even yesterday I felt terrible. I scared Sage, and I think I scared him too much.
You did scare Sage
I felt so
yesterday.
bad, so then I didn't want to draw attention to
You
it.
did.
So I was like, let's play puppies, And I sat and played with him and made sure he was okay because I felt terrible. I thought, he even saw me in this window here, so he knew, I thought he knew, but he was, I went, wah, and he was just like, and he had that moment of
He started crying.
he had that one, am I going to cry moment, and I was like, show me what you got. Let's look at your puppies. So all of a sudden, I spent an extra 20 minutes sitting on the floor with him because I'm like, we need to make sure, Brittany, your head will go crazy. If I would have left then, I would have gone to the parking lot and pretty much texted Alex, been like, I am so sorry. I'm like, we're going to make sure Sage is okay. So I played Barbies with him for 20 minutes.
That makes sense as to why you were here late yesterday, because I was like, this is very un-Brittany to not run out the door the second the mics go cold.
Wednesday and Thursday, I do have daycare, so I can chill out a little longer. But I felt like a monster. That kid is so sweet.
You just popped out of nowhere, because I was right behind him when you did it.
But Liam and I literally looked at each other through the window, and I waved. Scared him, and I don't think it was like a cry, but it was like a whoa.
He had to wipe that one tear.
And both you and I were like, listen, this can't happen. So I was like, let's play, let's do this. Next thing I know, I'm organizing his little puppies that have, give birth on the floor, playing with those. I would have felt terrible if I would have left thinking I hurt that kid's feelings ever.
Well, he and I sat down last night and wrote a children's book. It's called The Terrible Aunt Brittany. Is the name of the book, and it's rather scary, actually.
It's terrifying.
Because when you open the book, it pops up out at you. It's phenomenal.
He's got, both him and Fawn have the sweetest little voice.
They do.
They're just so cute.
I'll tell you, like I said, you can piss and moan about your life all you want, but I got a great wife, great kids, and great grandkids. What the hell? Got good friends. Isn't that life? That's all life anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, they're good kids. They're so sweat.
Very, very sweet. We went to the Asian Mall out in Eden
Oh,
Prairie.
you did? Did yesterday?
2 days ago.
Okay, yeah.
And honest to God, they love that place.
I will take them. It's very close. It's not far from their house.
No, it can't be. Now, if you've never been there, ladies and gentlemen, it's right there in Eden Prairie. It's right off, what is that? Is that 494?
No, it's 212.
212. Yeah, there you go. It's off 212. It is really cool, very well kept. Every kind of food you'd ever want. All these items that you've never even heard of. It's a great day. No question about it. Little weather for you, ladies and gentlemen. Partly to mostly sunny with a high of 83 today, so a very nice day today. Partly cloudy tonight, a low of 66. Then mostly sunny, breezy, and hot with a high of 90 tomorrow. On Saturday, mostly sunny, 92, and Sunday, 97. Labor Day, 98. We'll see if that happens, because remember, they originally said that today was supposed to be the first day it reached 90 degrees, and it's not going to get up to 90. It's going to get up to 83, so we might not even get to that 97, 98, or if we do for one day, who cares, right?
Yep, today's fair day. I'm ready.
So you're going to the fair today. I should mention,
hot.
it's sunny and 59 right now.
Yeah.
So you're going to the fair today when?
Right after the show. I'm picking up my friend Eric, and we're going to the fair, and I don't care if it's hot. We're going to sweat and eat, and it'll be fine.
Is your whole family going?
Nope, just me and Eric. We go every year. You've met him. Mm-hmm. He gave me a lot of grief because 2020 happened, and we didn't go to the fair, and he had a big problem with that. And then last year I had the baby, and she was, 2. I just couldn't leave her. I couldn't. And so we didn't go to the fair last year, and he had a big problem with that, which I understand. So we're going to the fair this year. Beverly came to town to help me out with the baby because she got a fever yesterday. So she's at home. All fair day. That's all we're doing. We're going to try to get there, see some Chris Egert, see some My Talk, maybe throw some things at the Garage Logic people.
May as well.
Call it a day.
They record their show, what, noon to 1? Is that when they do it?
I don't know, but I'm going to try to stop by.
I did the show once, but I can't. I think it's from like 11:30 to like 1:15 or 11:30 to 12:45 or something. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a damn good show, though. They do a good job with that situation over there. We have to take a break. Be right back in a couple of seconds, ladies and gentlemen. You all have helped support MyPillow and their employees in these tough economic times. Mike Lindell knows this and continues to give back to listeners with deals on his most popular products. Matter of fact, I called Dawn last night a couple of times. Dawn's been working with Mike Lindell forever at MyPillow. Talked about some things because that company does help a lot of people out. So I was talking about maybe doing something for Maui.
Yeah.
You know,
That'd be amazing.
Since their own state abandoned them.
Yeah.
That's real nice. So, yeah, we talked about that last night, and hopefully we can get something going. You've heard me recently speak about my slippers, the Giza sheets, MyPillow 2.0, and more. Great news, the MyPillow 6-pack bath towel sets are back in stock. The proprietary technology makes them extremely absorbent, yet still provides that soft feel you look for in a towel. The set comes with 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths. Regular price $79.98, and for a limited time, you can get this 6-pack towel set only $3.99, $39.99. It's once again, I'll read it the way it's written. You ready?
Oh.
Regular price $79.98. For a limited time, you can get this 6-pack towel set of only $39.99. Nice. Really good. Every day. That's a 50% savings. Go to MyPillow.com and use promo code TOM to save 50% on the MyPillow 6-pack towel sets. That is just $39.99 for a set. This deal will not last long. Enter promo code TOM for this special and many more.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says riding a bus to school is 13 times safer than riding in a passenger vehicle and 10 times safer than walking to school. The reality of school bus safety is that more children are hurt outside the bus than inside as passengers. Most of the children who lose their lives in bus-related crashes are pedestrians, 4 to 7 years old, who are hit by the bus or by motorists illegally passing a stopped school bus. Please be patient and use extra caution when driving near children and school buses. And never pass a bus when the arm is down and red lights are flashing. The children inside and their parents are counting on us. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in an accident, but if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to a lawyer.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
I'm here with Ben Williams, former defensive end for the Minnesota Vikings. Ben, you were in peak health playing football when you went into kidney failure and needed a transplant. An organ donor saved your life. What do you want people to know?
That's right, Tom. I found out my life was going to have 2 paths. Either hooked up to a dialysis machine 5 days a week, 4 hours a day for the rest of my life, or receive a kidney transplant. I actually started to lose hope. When I was about to start dialysis, I received a call. My perfect match for a kidney was available. A stranger checked the donor box on their driver's license and saved my life. I actually felt 18 again. Now I want to pay it forward by encouraging others to register. I learned from LifeSource that men register at rates much lower than women. We need more men to check the box at the DMV. When you pass away, that small decision and act can help someone like me.
There are 2,300 people in Minnesota like Ben right now waiting for a life-saving transplant. Make your game plan to be a hero. To learn more, visit life-source.org. All right, I'm going to test and see if you guys are really, really Minnesotans or just faking it.
I'm ready.
You ready? After more than 50 years, iconic Minneapolis outdoor retailer Midwest Mountaineering will close. Okay? You know Midwest Mountaineering.
Yep.
What was their jingle?
Midwest Mountaineering. Climb a mountain.
Nope. It's really horrible.
Pretty close, actually.
Nah, wasn't close at all.
What do you mean?
It's terrible.
Yeah. It was Midwest Mountain. What was the name of the company again?
Midwest Mountaineering.
Midwest Mountaineering.
Head turtles in a half shell.
There you go. That's what I was going for, yeah. Mountains in a half shell. Mountain
Nope.
power.
Nope.
All right, give it to us.
All wrong. Midwest Mountaineering. The mountains are nearer than you think.
That's actually super cute.
That was their slogan. That's why I did it, because it's so cute.
It is
That's
cute.
exactly
Mountains are nearer than you think.
I think, though, didn't 1 or 2 of the guys that work there fall off a mountain and die?
What?
I think that's true. That was a long, long time ago, though, so I'd have to look that up and see. But I do believe a couple of people that worked for Midwest Mountaineering fell off a mountain and died.
A couple?
I think so,
That's not great.
if I remember correctly. It's always been over there just as you go in 94, let's say from Minneapolis to St. Paul. It's just there on your left, right kind of on the border.
Yeah, I feel like it's technically off Cedar Avenue, but yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
there you
right
go.
over there.
Yeah, that's 50 years that's been there. It's interesting, though. You spend some money to open a store called Midwest Mountaineering, and there's not a mountain anywhere near here.
Yeah.
Other than in their jingle.
Yeah, come on out to Phoenix Yacht and More.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
right.
Beautiful.
Where the hell are you going to put one of those? It feels like
Beautiful.
such a weird place to open
It
it.
is. I
but-
never thought about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't got very many mountains around us, do we?
But those guys loved it, I guess. They loved mountain climbing and all. It never held an attraction for me, climbing mountains.
No, Quinn, the social media guy at My Talk, likes to do that free climbing thing. I think there's a
Free
name.
solo?
Yeah, where you just find something and climb it
Yeah.
without any gear.
Oh, not those walls that got all the rocks on them. Not those.
No, this is like out in the world.
Yeah.
Oh,
There
okay.
is a documentary that won the Academy Award for Best Documentary called Free Solo. It's one of the most terrifying documentaries you will ever see because this guy climbs the side of El Capitan out in California. It is 3,200 feet up with no ropes, and he does it in 3 hours?
Let me guess how that ends.
Terribly, obviously. Yeah.
Because this documentary,
Whoops.
yeah.
Because it's a
Yeah.
documentary.
The whole time I watched it, because like the last like half hour of the documentary, the first hour and 15 minutes is the lead up. And he actually makes one attempt and decides to go back down the mountain, and the last half hour is him actually completing it. And the entire time you are shaking, like your hands you don't stop because the anxiety you feel, but you have to keep telling yourself. They wouldn't have released this documentary if he doesn't get to the top.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But it really is worth a watch. It's amazing.
Oh, so he's fine? He's
Absolutely.
out in the world walking
you
around
thought he
right
died.
now? I thought he died.
No. They do have videos of people who have tried it that, they do put like a little disclaimer up like, hey, the next 90 seconds of video clips might be a little hard for you guys to handle.
All these people are not on this earth anymore.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Don't understand the attraction.
Nah, I'm with you. My brother just got back from Yellowstone, Jordan did, and he did the whole 4-day hike where they sleep out there. And
Yeah.
their big worry is bears. When we sat and
Why?
talked, I don't know. And
I like hotels.
so do I. And it's funny because I was like, oh, I love that because I do love walking. I love running. He's like, oh, yeah, Brittany, you'd be really into this, whatever. As soon as he talked, like, oh, yeah, we have to, like, make sure we hang our food this many miles away and bears can smell up to 100 miles. All of a sudden I started thinking think about being in a small little tent and you just hear rustling outside and you know
Oh, yeah.
that tent is going to do nothing to save you. And if a bear wants, it can just stampede your tent and you'd be dead.
Catherine and I, our honeymoon, part of it, 2 days of our honeymoon was on top of a mountain in Canada. We rode horses to the top of the mountain and then camped out.
I bet that was Catherine's dream.
Oh, yeah. I never saw it, but apparently in the middle of the night, a bear peeked into our tent.
I would die.
Jesus.
I never saw it. But thank God I never saw it, I guess.
So then we got down this like weird because Jordan came over yesterday. We got down this weird bear route, and like bears
Oh,
are
yeah.
just insane. Like the more you find out about bears, the more you're like, they should be the ones at banks and driving. Like they are superior to us. They should be at the top of the food chain. There is this thing they have in Alaska called Fat Bear Week.
Okay.
And they do this competition to take pictures of the fattest bears about to hibernate. And it's so funny.
We got to do a bit.
Yeah.
Fat Bear Week, only Bare, and it's people. That'd be a great
Well,
bit,
I'm going to the
actually.
state fair.
Oh, my God. That was cold. That was really
I just mean
cold.
pure numbers.
Oh, pure numbers. That's
Pure
it. Yeah,
numbers.
okay. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, no, it was super funny. So then we started watching all these videos, Fat Bear Week. You would die, Tom. They look like they're overinflated. They're about to go into
Yeah.
hibernation, and they look like they can't even walk. They're just like hump, hump.
So they're not playing or anything like that.
No, they can't even barely.
Yeah.
Frolic is not in their nature when they're this fat. But they have they find them. They have one called 747. Like you know how they're all numbered, and one happens to be 747 and is also the largest bear. And they keep calling it Bear Force One and all these
Oh,
things.
Bear Force One.
and they have pictures. They were able to track these pictures of it, like spring, summer, winter, and fall. And these pictures are just hilarious. Like, it's like this bear has been intermittent fasting, and it's a before and after. You would just love this.
Love it. I do love that stuff.
I know you
like
would.
watching it from a distance is what I like.
I liked watching it on YouTube on our TV.
Absolutely. Hey, that's great looking.
The bear's got a thumbs up. Check out mnfatloss.com.
Yep, there you go. MN Fat Loss.
Look at this
Fat.
freaking
I know. Look at the size of that sumbitch.
That's a fat bear.
That thing is, how big is that head? As big as a basketball, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Or bigger.
Have you guys ever done Rocky Mountain National Park before?
Yes.
Beautiful, isn't it?
It is. That whole state is gorgeous.
Yeah.
The whole state.
We went there once, and my mom had said, well, I want to drive up to the lookout. I want to get to the top. And this lady at the ranger station said, well, you can take the highway. It's about, 45 minutes. But there's a shortcut. If you just want to take the shortcut, just go up that dirt road, no problem. We get to the dirt road, we start going on, and my mom says, why is it one way? I said, I don't know. She looks up the mountain. She goes, are we going all the way up there where those cars are? I thought, nah, we're not going up there. That's ridiculous. She said it was a shortcut. Oh, no. You're 13,000 feet up, and you can't turn around. So, and it is 90 degrees. There's no guardrails, and you drive that vehicle to the top of that damn thing. My mom has never been, I've never seen her that shade of white.
Oh, that poor thing. We used to, because my dad lives in Montana, we'd go out there once a year to visit him. There's a road called Road to the Sun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wonderful.
Been there. Yep.
And it is, I just remember we were in a Ford Probe. It was all four of us kids. No third and fourth door. They're just terrible. I remember thinking in my life, like, as a kid, that was the first time I thought, like, oh, dying is something that could happen.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
one more thing, Tom. So this is the 747. Here's him skinny version, and here is him right before hibernation.
It's before and after. I
Fatten
love
up
that.
a little.
I'm going to have to obsess
Gotta
on
fatten
this
up a little, man. God, I'm looking at some headlines. What?
Was that when you were on that horse, when you guys were on that horse in Canada, did you guys have any fear that bears would attack those horses? Because that always
No.
blew my mind.
Well, we had guides and all that stuff. We didn't go by ourselves. We were guided. It was a guided tour. And the guy was from Ireland and had such an attitude. It was unbelievable.
That is, thank God. You need somebody with an attitude when you're in bear country.
And my horse,
Yeah.
can't remember the name of my horse now. God, I'll remember it forever, but I can't remember. It did not want to lead the group. It did not want to follow the group. I am going to be the second horse in the line every time.
I wonder who that reminds me of. I will not lead. I will not follow.
I'll be the second horse. And by the way, a horse cut him off once, and he got very pissed off.
Oh, that's-
I'm second, not you.
I love that. It's just
was
like you. You
phenomenal.
have things should go this
What the
way.
hell was the name of that horse?
And
He
if
was a
it does
great
not,
horse.
his name was Thomas Barnard. This horse's name.
And I'm not kidding you. That horse had such a great... I never feared from... Because you're going some pretty narrow paths over, like, caverns.
Yeah.
And I never feared for 1 second because that horse was like, I got this. Don't worry about it.
When we were kids,
They were great.
we were visiting my dad. I will always remember her name is Lindsay because that's my sister's name. And a lady was riding on a horse on the side of a mountain. She fell off. The horse and her died. You could see it from the other side of the mountain. These grizzly bears went to eat the horse.
Oh.
And they were trying to eventually airlift her body out, but they were like, there's no hurry because obviously. And it was I can still see it in my head to this day. Like, we were very far away with like binoculars, but watching bears like pull a horse apart, like that to me.
yeah.
So like when you say you're on a horseback
Yeah.
somewhere, I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
that's so scary. And my sister Lindsay was like, well, what are the odds 2 Lindsays get killed this year in Essex, Montana? So
Jesus.
I know that was my
That's a
childhood.
good question.
I know we all think animals are cute and cuddly, but nature is vicious.
Sure
It is
is.
very violent. If you've ever watched a pack of wolves track down a deer, and then, listen, I know people that think hunting is unethical. If you take out a deer and you take one shot and it has a half a second of pain, then keels over and feels nothing, the deer would much rather take that than being hunted by a pack of wolves and being torn limb to limb.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
He just gave me some great memories.
Animals ripping apart animals.
No, just riding up Camelback Mountain on a
so
horse.
cool.
Then we got to the top, and you know what we did then?
What?
White water rafted all the way down the mountain.
That's like a dream sitch.
But I got to tell you something. Went back to the old neighborhood. Some of my urban buddies
Yeah.
said, "Tommy, where'd you go on your honeymoon?" I said, "Canada." Oh, yeah, that's nice. What'd you do? I said, you really want to know? And I told him about riding a horse up a mountain and then whitewater rafting down. He go, God damn, Tommy, you must love that woman. Because they know I've never been near a horse, a mountain, or a stream in my life.
Was it so
Other than
much
Bassett's
fun?
Creek, I guess.
Did you feel like so alive? Was it so fun?
It was great, actually. It was quite an experience because you gotta listen to what that guy says. Paddle forward, paddle back, whatever the hell. You gotta listen, otherwise it's a problem.
What felt more out of place for you, riding a horse up a mountain or going down whitewater rafting?
Both of them.
Yeah.
I never in my life. I never even went down to ski jump at Theater Worth. So what does that tell you?
Yeah.
And then of course they burned it to the ground because it was in North Minneapolis. That's actually because it's across Theater Worth Parkway. Is that still Minneapolis or is that now?
Or that Bryn
Golden
Mawr?
Valley.
Or Golden Valley. Oh, you're right.
I don't know if that's Golden Valley or Minneapolis right there on the Theater Worth Parkway because isn't that where it splits? I think.
Yeah, it's pretty close. I bet it's
Yeah.
right on the edge.
Yep,
Yeah.
I bet it is. But yeah, that's still to this day I love Theater Worth. Except for that one time I did walk by the creek and there was a dead woman in there. But other than that,
What was she doing in there?
she was a hooker who had been robbed and killed.
No, not great.
Why do you rob a hooker? What she got on her? $20?
I know.
What year was that?
Oh, geez, that must have been 1966, 67, something
goodness.
like that. I think I was a teenager, so 65, 66, somewhere in there. I guess it was quite the experience because you go, oh, look at that. There's a dead person.
I'm telling you, I did my park, the Bryn Mawr Park. I did that at least twice a day. When we were
Oh,
in
yeah.
Dominican, they found a dead person on my walk.
There you
It was the
go.
only time. Like I wasn't, I never went out of town. I was too broke to go on vacation, and I was somewhere for KQ, and that was the time that there was a dead body found.
And you would have walked right up on her.
Oh, for sure, because
Was
my
it a woman?
dogs, I let my dogs off leash over there all the time.
Oh.
Robot would have for sure found her.
So it was a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's...
Oh, super sad. But I
That
was
is
like, and I
unbelievable.
definitely when I talk about it, don't think about it as a person. I'm thinking more
Yeah,
of it like,
oh, yeah, I
like the
understand
way
that.
you do. It's like, yeah. But,
Yep.
yeah, I love, those are, Theo Worth and Bryn Mawr, all that walking places, they're just so nice.
That Bryn Mawr's great. I can't believe you never went to Milda's.
I know.
It's a great restaurant right there on Glenwood Avenue
No.
in Bryn Mawr.
We did a lot of cup of Java, a lot of Bryn Mawr pizza, and then
Oh,
there's
yeah, those are good, too.
that oven. They switched the name up, but there's a little restaurant over there, too. But, yeah.
The only thing they should do over in Bryn Mawr now is find a bigger building to paint a bigger picture of George Floyd. Have you seen that thing?
No.
That picture's got to be like 30 feet high. It's like, whoa. That must have taken a while.
Joe, our listener, wrote in saying, I asked my little sister, and she said there really aren't any lesbian bars in the Twin Cities. So,
Well, what's the Coven then? Isn't the Coven a lesbian bar?
no, the Coven, oh my God, my friend owns the Coven. The Coven is a workspace for just women.
But it supports LGBTQ and
But that's just-
lesbians and all the rest. So wouldn't that make it kind of a
It's not
gay
even a bar, though.
Oh, it's not a bar.
No, it's a workspace.
Are you sure?
Yeah, my friend owns it. My friend Liz Giel.
Your friend says she owns it.
My friend Liz Giel started the Coven with like 3 of her friends. It's like
It's a co-working space.
yes.
Yeah, I
It's
just found it.
beautiful.
Is your friend a lesbian?
No, she is not.
What is? Oh, POC's people of color. Oh, I forgot. Oh, now it's POC. It's like, Jesus Christ. Would you let it go? Can we all just be human? Wouldn't that be good? The Coven, Twin Cities co-working space.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Created for women.
Yep.
POC and LGBTQ workers. So it says for women, people of color, and lesbians. So honky men can't get in?
No, it's like what's that one workspace that had all that controversy?
I don't know. I don't go to workspaces. It's too much work.
The one that they overinflated the price, and then they got. Oh God, there's that shared workspace. People are. What is the name of it? But this is just women only co-work, like especially during the pandemic when you would want office space. WeWork was the one I was trying to think of. WeWork is shared workspace for everything, and then this is just women only. So it's just kind of more of like you can network there, meet a bunch of people. I've been there a bunch of times. It's lovely.
Okay, so let me just reread that headline and change one thing about it.
Okay.
So the headline is The Coven, a Twin Cities co-working space created for women, people of color, it just says POC, and LGBTQ workers.
Yeah.
So it's a co-working space created for women, people of color, and lesbians. So honky men can't get in? No, it's not a bar. Does your feeling about the headline change if I say the Coven, a Twin Cities working space created for white men, people of color, and LGBTQ workers? That would be extremely offensive. Why?
Well, there is a working space for white men. It's called Rick's Cabaret.
It's called every
but they're not
workplace.
working there. They're not working when they're in there.
You could use it for anything. You'd be like, it's actually called Theo Worth Golf Course. That's our working spot. That's where white guys work.
Yeah, but see, this is what I'm saying, though. Why is it okay to have that headline, but if you use the other headline, people would be offended? Why?
But like for a long time, men had men-only places.
That's not the point. This is today. Things have changed.
Yeah, I agree.
I think we should look at the progress we've made instead of constantly bitching about everything. Let's work together and move forward.
I don't think it's so bad that. I mean, first off, I love the Coven. I love going there.
I'm not criticizing the Coven at all. That's not what I'm saying.
I
at
know,
all.
no, but I don't think it's such a bad thing to have like fostering
Segregation, is that what you're saying,
Yeah,
Brittany? Go ahead.
segregation. That's okay. Segregation's okay, but I mean, don't worry about it.
I don't think it's a bad idea to foster, especially women in the workplace. Haven't always it wasn't. Workplaces are more oriented towards an aggressive male attitude often, and I don't think it's such a bad thing to say, "Hey, here's an environment that is."
No, I'm not saying it's bad.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
That's not what I'm saying, but I'm just saying open it for everybody. Not necessarily this space.
Yeah.
But if another space did it and changed one thing about it, people would nonstop bitch about it.
I wonder if you can have a men's only, but not say like white men, because like they're not saying white women.
They're saying people of color.
They're saying everybody's welcome. It's an all is welcomed here for people identifying as women.
It says women, POC, and LGBTQ workers, which I got no problem with that. That's great. It's not a problem. I just wish you get to the point where my part's okay, but if you did it, it'd suck. That's the part that I don't like.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It would be super weird if you said, here is a white guy only club. It would feel, but like you don't even want that. So why are you even doing that?
That's not the point. The point is we need to come together, not further apart.
Yeah.
They keep trying to drive us apart. These shitholes like the Star Tribune and National News are trying to drive us farther apart so they can make more money.
I agree.
So when are we going to stop putting up with it?
What do you want me to do today?
I don't know.
What's my call to action today? I'm at the state fair. You want me to start fights?
Walk up to everybody who doesn't look like you and go, I hate you.
Yeah, first off, before you do any of that, run up to the Comcast booth with Eric and give him the business about why our internet here has been spotted
Yeah,
the
there you
last
go.
couple of days.
We're
That
on
sounds
it.
good.
And
We're
then
on
once
it.
you do that, solve the problem of white male oppressors, okay?
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, we hit up the Xfinity Comcast booth anyways because it's Eric's favorite booth to tell them every downloaded movie he's ever done in his life.
That's amazing.
So we will add to that list of problems.
I have never seen the line, oppressed white people. There are plenty of very, very poor white people in America, but nobody ever talks about them. Why is that?
I think people
Let's
do.
help all people.
I think that like we do. I think
No, we don't.
I mean, maybe it's not as popular right now to advertise it, but I hope that. I mean, I'm just being honest.
Yeah,
like,
I hope too.
I hope that like we have resources for all people that need a leg
That's
up.
exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, in fact, actually, I looked these numbers up like 2 weeks ago. If you want to talk about the amount of arrests that happen, white men are actually arrested way more than any other.
Here's
right.
the fun fact. I
And
have
don't
been
commit the most of the crime, by the way.
I was
Not
going to
even
say,
close.
I agree that white men are the most arrested
Yeah.
and the highest offenders.
There's also that too, actually. So some of that outside of armed robbery and outside of murder, every other crime, white men commit more and are arrested more than any other. But that never makes
Preach.
but that doesn't make the news. That doesn't make the news. It's not the narrative. But then people go, and then everybody who's in a community that they think are being oppressed go, well, look at the news. Cops are gunning down people of color. That's not what's happening.
Listen, I've been trying to advertise how many white men should be arrested constantly.
It is
That
double.
is-
double, actually. I agree. Get them out of here.
Get them out of here.
No, the numbers are the numbers. And once again, I've decided the rest of my life I'm just going to try and piss everyone off by trying to get people together instead of separating them just so I can make more money. I find that disgusting that people
Yeah.
do that. It's just treat everyone the same, for Christ's sake. There are a lot of very, very poor people out there that should be looked at long before we will look at other things. Can we help the poor, no matter what color they are, what sex they are? Can we help them rise up? That would be really nice.
Yeah.
But we don't ever think about that. There's no money in that.
No.
And that's the problem.
You know,
Well, we could, but Brittany's over there being too busy segregating everybody.
I know. Typical.
Gosh.
typical. Sorry
She had
that
that-
I like
she
the
had that
coven.
wall
I
up here.
love the coven. If
She had the
I
wall. No, there's nothing wrong with the coven.
making
That's
fun
not
of
the
him.
point.
I'm making fun of Rudy,
Yeah,
not you.
sure you are.
I'm making not fun of you. This time I'm attacking Rudy.
Yeah.
Like in our house, if the little boy, little girl, it doesn't matter. You act up, you're going to get punished for it. By punished, probably just have to sit in a chair for a while.
Brittany
whatever
will
it is.
scare you.
Yeah, Brittany will scare the piss out of you. Yeah, you treat everyone the same. I don't care what color you are, what orientation you are, what sex you are. I don't care. Everybody gets treated the same. Why can't we get there?
I don't know. And maybe
Because there's no money in it.
that's true.
why.
Maybe there's a roundabout way that someday we will, but
I
we
hope so.
probably won't be in our lifetime. But that's fine.
I'll close with this. Every time I watch the national news or look at the newspaper, this, all this stuff, they start talking about the inner city, and I just start laughing. You have no idea what the hell you're talking about. None. But they think they do because they took a walk once on Plymouth Avenue.
Right?
I find that hilarious.
Yeah, I think
That'd be like me saying, hey, Rudy, let me tell you all about living in a small town because I know all about it. Mm-hmm. No, I don't. I've never lived in a small town.
wasn't Dayton kind of small?
Well, but it was attached to the 15th largest metro area in the country,
Yeah.
so it couldn't have been that isolated.
And you weren't really like living in it. Like, I mean, you lived in it, but I meant
On a
like
farm, yeah.
Yeah, but I meant like you weren't. You would every day be coming into the city and working.
But why do you think it is that, like I said, I couldn't tell you how to be a woman? I've never been a woman. I couldn't tell Rudy what it's like to grow up in a small town because I don't know.
Yeah.
So shouldn't I just shut up and pay attention?
Yeah,
But that's not what people do.
but like, don't you think there's something so magical about just doing the right thing? Like I listen to you. You tell me your experiences. I don't know what it's like to be a dad,
No.
a husband,
A
whatever.
decent
like,
person.
a decent
You
person.
don't know what that's like
Showering.
at all. Shower once in a while.
So it's like
Exactly.
I think we just have to like it's one of those things where like you're right, like it probably doesn't make us much money to get along. You and I
No.
don't see eye to eye on, I would say, 40% of things.
Since you've been married, that's true. Your politics changed a lot when you got married.
Because of Justin.
Oh, no question.
Justin is the most apolitical guy. He wouldn't
But
even
you do it to kiss ass. That's what I'm saying.
to what? To
look
who?
look how liberal I am.
Oh,
now.
look how liberal
you
I
phony,
am.
You fraud.
I'm so in love with this conversation. I am first off, I get
love
yelled
that.
at by you because I don't like I have my head in the sand a lot of times, especially during the pandemic. My mental health was like, you know
Oh,
what?
I understand that.
I need a break from pretending to care or pretending to be involved.
I do understand that. no
If it
doubt.
wasn't for you dragging me into like what is going on, which like I appreciate, I love my job, I love working with you, but sometimes I just like not knowing anything and being nice to everyone around me. So it's like so funny that you even say I'm political because like if it wasn't for you in my career, I have found out that being involved is so painful.
You know what's funny about now that's your experience, and I respect that. But what you just said is a perfect example of what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because I grew up where you could not take a second to separate yourself from what's going on.
Yeah.
Because you'd have your ass handed to you in 1 minute. So the way you grew up is the way you grew up. The way I grew up
Yeah.
doesn't mean that you're better, I'm better, or whatever. We grew up in a totally. I could never do what you do, and I know I'm safe now, but I still can't do that.
Yeah.
Because you learned your whole life.
Be on edge.
You better keep your head up, otherwise
Yeah.
you got problems.
And it is funny because, I've done a whole deployment and there was a part
Yeah.
of me that couldn't relax. And now I'm at a point where, like, I don't check the locks every 2 seconds. I don't whatever. Like,
Why not? You better.
And I feel like there is a part of me that has a special privilege that sometimes I can not feel like I'm constantly in fight mode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, once you've done what you've done in the service, that'd be a bitch.
But I don't mean
want
it.
to avoid it.
I'm just saying that, like, I get that, like, you grew up in an environment where you felt like you always had to fight. I think that's worse because yours was every day. I tried to leave mine in Kuwait and Iraq.
Yeah,
When it's your
yeah.
everyday
Yeah, I
life,
understand that.
it's harder to, like, draw a line in the sand. And it was blurry. There was a couple years where it was blurry, where I felt like I was an aggressive person. I would be first aggressive to people so they wouldn't be aggressive to me. A lot of things that happened to me in the military were from guys in the military. There were scary things that happened, but there was no faces to put to them. The IEDs, big scary stuff, people shooting, whatever. There's no faces to put on. The really bad things that happened to me in the military were people that I knew their first and last name. And so I had to learn how to relax and let some of that go, because I was not becoming a person that could sustain a long life, a happy life.
There you have it. But understand something. It wasn't every day you had to do that. Every day what you had to do was pay attention. You couldn't look away.
Yeah.
You had to pay attention. And I was very lucky when I moved from the Plymouth area up to the 26th Avenue area, from St. Joe's School to St. Anne's. I didn't know. Well, I knew Terry Burnham. I knew one person. That was it. And Tommy O'Brien, I guess. Tommy I had known before that too. But I got lucky because the popular group, I guess you call them, accepted me right away.
Yeah.
So I hung out with like Andy Fisher, as
Yeah.
I said before. And I've told Rudy this story many times. Andy Fisher was about 5'7", but weighed about 160 pounds, and he could beat the shit out of anybody you put in front of him.
Yeah.
He had that kind of determination, and I was accepted into that crowd. Andy Fisher became my best friend for life. I adored that man because he was very ethical, but you wouldn't want to piss him off. I'm just here to tell you. I love that. I got very lucky because I was accepted. Because if I hadn't been accepted,
Your life would have been hell.
it would have been horrible.
It would have been absolutely
horrible.
hell. And I'm sure, that's what's so hard too. With Rudy, you growing up in a small town, at least being in, I guess sometimes North Minneapolis feels like the small town mentality where everybody knows each other.
Yeah.
You're right.
But the hard thing about Rudy, you growing up in a small town, is if the stage is set for you to be a certain person, the stage is set. If you pooped your pants in first grade, you'll always be the guy who
Why'd
pooped
you
his
bring
pants.
that up? I didn't do it on purpose.
It was an accident.
Listen, okay, so first grade and a week ago, what's the difference?
Big deal.
What's the difference?
Interchangeable.
It's all the same
What's
poop.
the difference? Yeah, it is funny because those are the stories that you'll never ever. I mean, there's times I can't find my keys, but I do remember Kenny Lorenz farting in science class.
Well, there you go.
I'll never
go.
ever forget that.
And
So
that's a part of me that will never want to live in a small town. We moved around constantly, not constantly, but a lot. And I was always got to be a new person, new slate. And even when we moved to Eden Prairie, I didn't know one person. Nobody knew about any of my breakups, any of my issues, and I loved that. I don't know what that is. That small town. You guys both have that in common. It's kind of funny to think about it because Minneapolis is so big. But man, is it weird how you guys all knew each other and knew everything about.
It was the neighborhood, yeah.
Yeah, and it's that's so crazy that's so interchangeable with you two.
And as any small town person who moves to a big city, you feel safer in a big city than you do a small town.
Oh, and there's no question.
Absolutely. Walking
No
down
doubt about it.
a small town downtown, and when you're 17, there was always a chance for a fight. Always a chance that
Really?
you said something to somebody, and everybody is accessible. You can find everybody.
and they have such intricate roots.
Yeah.
They're all twined up together.
Absolutely.
Oh.
And the thing about New York, big cities, people don't care. They're in a hurry. It's go, go, go. You
Yeah.
are something, not a someone. You are something in their way, and you need to move, and they will figure out every which possible way. And for whatever reason, the second I moved to Minneapolis, it felt way more like home than Hibbing did.
And that's crazy too, Tom, because I think a lot of people, and you don't have this ego, but I think some people would. Some people have a hard time then being a nobody to everybody on the streets when they're so used to knowing, you're this guy, you were homecoming king, you were this and that, but you didn't have problems with that?
Not at all. No, I came here. I love the fact that you could just disappear into the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you have it. I know we got to take a break, but you guys just reminded me of a wonderful line. I'm in Long Prairie with my friend Terry Crandall. Brought him up there he lived up on Sheridan in North Minneapolis. Went to my grandparents' farm and stayed with him. And we went into town, and we're standing there in downtown Long Prairie, which is 2 blocks long, or was. Now it's just abandoned buildings. But we're walking along, and some kids about our age, boys and girls, come walking toward us, and they knew we weren't from Long Prairie. So they assumed we were from Minneapolis, St. Paul. And as they walked by, one of the girls turned to one of the boys and said, and I quote, bunch of city boys probably couldn't even lift a 5-gallon pail. Like, what the hell does that mean?
Good point.
What are you talking about?
Couldn't even lift of what?
I guess milk is what I
right.
guess. I don't know what else would be in a 5-gallon pail.
Oh, it's funny though. I love visiting my husband because they'll have the funniest things. You got good grip strength? What? Do I have good grip strength? That's what my father-in-law asked me.
Really?
And he was just like, yeah, it's one of the concerns he had. And I love John. And he was trying to just kind of keep conversation. What's your grip strength like? What?
Well, how is it?
Not great. Not great. I believe it or not, I'm not gripping things all the time.
Damn grip strength. That's all I have to say. We have to take a break because Kristyn Burtt's coming up in just a couple of seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tom Barnard for Power Lodge and Miller Marine. Attention all power sports enthusiasts. This August, we invite you to celebrate with Power Lodge as it's August 31st, the last day of August today. We invite you to celebrate with Power Lodge as we hit a major milestone, 25 years of bringing action and excitement in Minnesota as you go-to destination for all things marine and power sports. To say thank you, each of our locations will host a local community appreciation day. Join us in Brainerd, Ramsey, Onamia, or Sauk Rapids as we roll out the red carpet with delicious food, amazing prizes, fantastic giveaways, and unbeatable special pricing. As the grand prizes, we'll be raffling off a variety of Polaris ATVs and snowmobiles. Check out powerlodge.com for event dates nearest you. And that's not all. Throughout August, we've got something special planned. Follow us on social media as we unveil 25 days of deals on the latest off-road and on-road vehicles, boats, and supplies from the top brands in power sports. That's right, 25 days of back-to-back incredible offers. You won't want to miss this. So mark your calendars and get in on the action during our 25th anniversary Power Lodge, where your adventure with throttle therapy begins.
This is Bob Sansevier, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialke from Bialke Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialke Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit bialkelaw.com. That's BIALKE law.com.
I'm here talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, it seems like banking has changed quite a bit since you first opened your doors in 1998.
Yes and no. In 98, we didn't have online and mobile banking like we do today. Many banking processes have also changed. One thing that hasn't changed is we still provide a true community bank experience right here in the Twin Cities.
Our team takes the time to get to know our customers and their goals. This creates a relationship that is unique in banking today and one our customers appreciate. It's why we like to say, we provide a better banking experience.
You're absolutely right, Brad. I've been a customer for a long time. The service your team provides is phenomenal.
Thanks, Tommy.
So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Welcome back to the Tom Barnard Morning Show with legendary radio goat.
Oh, God, pipe down.
Thomas Barnard.
What's wrong with you?
Liz Giel, the owner of the Coven, asked if you want her to call in.
I'd love to talk to her.
All right, I'll tell her.
Yeah, we got some time. You know, Kristyn Burtt would probably like to talk to her eventually.
Yeah, Kristyn will be up in just a second.
No, not a problem. Yeah, I can see Kristyn liking to do that. What are you doing?
I always forget the number and I have to look at your screen.
Oh, my God, you're a disaster.
Yeah, I am. And you're my friend.
An absolute disaster.
Sing the Mountaineer intro good.
Midwest mountaineering, the mountains are nearer than you think.
See,
That was their jingle.
That's why they lasted so long, because they did last pretty long.
50 years.
For a state with no mountains.
With no mountains.
Yeah. Minneapolis is filled with jingles.
Don't be a stiff. Go to Cliffs.
There it is. Mike Gelfand, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't be a stiff.
Oh, God, you got to tune in, as a matter of fact, to today's family podcast, because I have to leave right after this show.
Oh, you do?
I got a bunch of work I have to do. So I got to leave right after this show, so I won't be on. But how about this lineup for the family podcast today? Andy, Mike Gelfand, and Josh Arnold.
Oh. Those
three together. Three of the smartest people I've ever met.
I was going to say.
That's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be a problem, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Gelfand, he should be in here about an hour, right?
Yeah, I will have to listen to that show.
Oh, yeah, I will. I know that. Back in the closet, huh?
Always back in the closet.
Back in the closet, sister. I think it's magnificent. There's no question about it. So what's the latest with you, Kristyn Burtt?
We've got some breaking news for Brittany.
What?
She's been fired?
No. This is exciting. This is exciting. We finally have an answer to what Taylor Swift was up to during the first 3 nights of the Eras tour. As I guessed, she did film a concert, and it is coming to movie theaters October 13th.
Yeah, no, I know. And is it going Disney Plus? Is that the?
No, it's going to AMC. So
Okay.
it's going to be a theatrical distribution, and of course, tickets are $19.89 for adults,
of course,
$13.13 for kids. AMC has made a promise that it will run at least 4 times a day over the weekends, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for its initial run. They've upgraded their ticketing systems because they know that obviously the volume is going to be crazy to buy tickets. They're already available, so you can go and buy it now. It is going to be an IMAX theater in some cities. So go and check that because that'll be a little bit more money, but I think for a lot of people that will be the way to go.
Okay, so this is the perfect thing for what I need. My neighbor Josie, she was really mad at me. She's like, I really want to go with you to the Eras concert. That was her whole thing, all through June. And I was like, I'm sorry, it's not like a casual buy. I already bought these tickets forever ago. This is the perfect thing to bring her to, and we're going to go experience the Eras tour together. And
what's an Eras tour?
That's Taylor Swift's ERAS. She calls her different albums Eras.
Oh, Eras, not I thought you said Eras. But Eras, okay.
Well, and if she screwed up, you call her the Errors tour.
The Eras tour, big mistake.
Which is also.
Or if it's in Massachusetts, it's Eras.
Really?
Yeah, Eras. Because you don't everything's an
So I'm super excited. I'll take Josie to this for sure, and we'll enjoy it. Hopefully I can get tickets.
Yeah, buy them today. That's what I'm telling you. If you want to go the date of your choice. And just so everybody knows, they don't know the length that whether it's the full 45 song set list that hasn't been released or not. But if it is, expect it to be at least 3 hours. If not, some, nights actually went 3 hours and 20 minutes.
I'm in a 5-minute wait to buy AMC theaters currently when I clicked on the link.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
For a movie theater ticket.
For a movie. But this is the thing, and this is what we've been talking about all summer long when we had Barbenheimer. Event films, I think, are going to carry this box office from now on. It's not going to be like, oh, I'm just going to go and see a comedy. Make it an event, and people will actually show up. And for anyone, by the way, who is like a Stubbs, like A+ list member, or they have passes, there's no refunds. They're really trying to avoid having any of the resellers or any of the scalpers buying tickets and then selling them for an astronomical amount. So they are really trying to crack down on that with AMC.
This is during a big charity event that I have to go to on the 13th. Oh.
Can you go early? Or, you know what I mean? Is that in the evening? Can you go to like a 2 p.m. show?
Can I schedule a sick day for October 13th?
So, you mean like we're sick of you?
But they're going to have other showings, right?
But you want to go on 13th, on October 13th.
Every time Taylor Swift's name gets uttered, it's like, well, that's going to be another $400 out of my pocket. Every time we bring her up, I'm like, as soon as you said it's going to be in theaters, my first thought was, I bet she's going to say IMAX because that's another 20. Yep, there's the IMAX. Okay, great. Seriously, Taylor Swift has taken up 7% of my income this year. That is not a joke. It's unreal.
Isn't it like $5-6 billion in income this year already?
She's doing a good job.
Yeah, we've torn down all these Christopher Columbus statues. We better put one up at Taylor Swift because I think she's saving the economy right now.
Yeah.
It might be.
She saved the LA economy with her 6 nights.
There you go.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So what else is happening?
The other breaking news, and this one, I know you guys were talking about Maui a little bit earlier. The Rock and Oprah Winfrey are teaming up to create the People's Fund of Maui. They're starting it out with a $10 million donation, and they've really kind of done this in a unique way. So they're going to give every adult who's over 18 who resides in Lahaina or Kula, they are eligible to receive $1,200 a month during the period of recovery. Of course, they're encouraging other people to donate to the relief fund, but this is like Oprah said, she goes, I'm going to do something down the line. I don't know what it is, but obviously she teamed up with Dwayne Johnson, and they are going to make sure that the money goes directly to the people affected instead of donating it to a specific charity and letting them distribute it.
Is that to make sure that those people don't break into their houses they own in Maui?
I don't think that's going to happen.
I'm just asking a question because they both own a house in Maui.
Sure. And Oprah's living there right now. And, she spends a lot of her time there during the year. And I think that, she's obviously owns a lot of the land, but she also has to do something meaningful to become a part of the community. And that's the thing. It can't be like us and them in this type of situation, because Lahaina obviously was devastated.
How did they drop the ball so many different ways in that tragedy?
The local government there really failed the people.
Terrible.
Because the warning system did not go out. And that has been proven time and again. That initial warning system where it says, get up, get out. By the time it reached everyone, it was too late.
Yep.
And I understand this because we have wildfires here in California, and those warning systems, even when you get you might receive an evacuation order, please get ready.
Yeah.
You can think though, like those are silly. They're not silly. It gives you the opportunity to grab your kids, grab your pets, grab your important papers, pack up the car, have it ready to go, because then when you do have that mandatory evacuation, guess what? You are out the door. Everybody is safe. You've grabbed everything that you possibly could.
Have you guys ever been near a situation like that where, because, like I said, in 1968, I think it was, they burned Plymouth Avenue to the ground, and just to stand in your neighborhood and watch, like what happened in Maui, their entire neighborhood burned to the ground, and then it stopped at that one. Why did it stop there? Was there a river there or something?
The fire lines are so interesting.
Yeah,
when
they
we
really
had
are.
the big Malibu fires.
Yep.
And I want to say it was 2018. I think that's the correct year. You would go to like Point Doom, where there's a lot of homes like out on the cliff. It would knock down like 3 houses in a row, and then it would cross the street and get that house. And then 3 more houses were fine. And then it would jump because an ember like caught in the wind, and then it got all the ones in the front. It has no rhyme or reason. And it's baffling to watch. It's really scary to be around. Even when we've had them around the Sepulveda Pass area. It really, you guys have had even just the bad air quality with the fires coming down from Canada. But when it is near you and you need to evacuate, you just don't want to be anywhere near the area.
Yeah, that fire on Plymouth Avenue was nowhere near my house. It wasn't like, our house. It was where I used to live, obviously, like 4 houses down along Plymouth Avenue. But I lived up near 26th Street at this time. But, spent a lot of time down there anyway. And to watch your entire neighborhood burn to the ground is really a bizarre experience. So these people, was about a third of the island burned, didn't it?
I wouldn't say it's like a third, but it's probably
a lot.
Close. It's a huge section. Obviously, it was a section that was a tourist, brought in a lot of tourist dollars. And so many people listened to the original warnings of like, stay away. And people canceled their vacations. And now the island is suffering economically. And they're saying, please come. Sure. These sections are open. We just ask that you respect Lahaina. Don't go and take photos. Of the destruction. Right. Please stay away. We're really trying. It's still a graveyard. They have not identified all of the bodies. There are so many people. I think there were 104 kids that passed away in that fire.
Yep. Now, is it true they still can't find 850 people?
Well, I think they've narrowed it down right now to somewhere in like the 340, 350 area, because the system isn't even set up for saying like, hey,
Why?
My neighbor Joe is missing. Well, Joe could be listed on the official list of like Joe Smith is missing, but you only reported him as Joe is missing if you didn't know his last name. Or you're like, I saw a guy in a bike escape. He's missing. But you don't know. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of like, I saw things happening in the evacuation versus the official list of like, I haven't seen my child.
Oh, God.
Which is, I can't even imagine because school was out that day.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't fathom. I mean, I read one story and I actually had to stop because the kid was home.
I know. I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Exactly.
And
the dog hugging
his dog.
and
I
was like,
can't.
I'm done.
I literally was like, I wish they would have asked me before they showed me this article because I couldn't even read it. That was a very upsetting.
It's so upsetting, and to see people trying to escape and they're in the actual like escape path and the escape route, but the fire is too quick.
It's so sad, the whole situation. You've been there, obviously, all of you.
I have.
No.
Stunningly
Beautiful island.
Beautiful.
Incredible community, and you know, and this is a way I at least like appreciate that Oprah and The Rock have stepped up because they obviously have ties to the island and they have to do something, and they've got a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, and I do like hearing that it goes directly to people and it's a monthly stipend for them to
No, it is
start
a
getting
good
on
thing.
their feet.
You know, Maui now forever will be Fire Island to me because of this fire. And then many, many years ago, when Andy, I believe, was 8 and Alex was 6, we landed in Maui, right? Well, I think you land in Honolulu first, and then you go over to Maui, obviously, if you're flying in from Minneapolis. But in any case, the second we walked into our hotel room, the phone was ringing, and a friend called and said, your barn burned to the ground while you're on your way to Hawaii. So it's Fire Island to me, baby. That's all I have to say.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, it was really. And then Paul Majors. You remember Paul Majors when you lived here, right?
do.
The news anchor. He and I had a
He's
little
out
battle.
here.
Yeah, right, exactly. But Paul and I were friends, and then we were not friends, and then we were friends. It was one of those deals we were friends, and then we weren't friends. One of those deals. You have any of those? I got a couple of those. But so he reports the thing, and somebody sent me the video of it, and said. Tom Bernard's barn burned to the ground. There's a pause. He looks at the camera and goes, and I didn't do it. Okay, Paul,
I
you
appreciate
pill.
that. That's a good sense of humor.
Pain in the ass, Paul Majors. God, I haven't seen him in a long time. Hopefully he's retired, what, how many years? By 5-6 years?
I'm trying to think if he retired maybe right before the pandemic.
That's what I
feel
thought,
like.
yeah. That's what I thought. God, we had fun going to the bars with Paul Majors and Jeff Passolt. Oh, my God, was that fun. They drew the women, I will tell you that.
Oh, I bet.
Observing only, of course. That's all I'm saying. They were observing.
No touching, no
Jeff and
touching.
Paul. That's not not bad, just kind of hanging out with guys like them. You know what I mean?
No.
So, is there anything for Uncle Tommy to go see in the movie theaters? Because I want to go into a movie theater, but there's nothing for me to watch. I'm waiting to see The Sound of Freedom. So, you know.
I can't believe you didn't go on National Cinema Day and pay $4.
And what was
last
showing?
Sunday. You could have gone to see Sound of Freedom for $4. It was last
know.
Sunday.
But for some reason, we want to watch that at home because I guess it's very sad.
It is sad.
I've heard it's
sad. It's about child trafficking and
God. But I love Jim Caviezel. I think he's a phenomenal actor.
he's interesting. He's a colorful person. He's very
So you don't like
challenging.
him? I didn't know that.
He he's really interesting. He's very challenging to work with.
There you go.
He
I
doesn't
knew
have
it.
A great.
I
he
read
doesn't
you
have
like a book,
He's a
sister.
strong actor, but doesn't have a great on-set reputation.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't, and he's controversial for a lot of people.
The way you described him is like, yes, he's okay for a guy who has pillows. Like, what are you?
I mean, I've had people that worked with him and have had an okay situation with him, and I've had other people that really have struggled working with him.
Yeah, I've never
on set,
talked to him.
so.
I've never interviewed him or anything. So
His interviews are also very interesting.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he is aligned with QAnon, and I think that's where a lot of
he
and I think
is?
we talked about this. This is where you get the controversy with the actual movie, and I wish we didn't have any sort of QAnon ties. A couple of the investors are aligned with QAnon because we all know that the topic is important. We know that this is an important topic, and any movie that's tackling it is great because it just creates awareness.
Yes.
But when you draw in the politics of it, it gets frustrating.
So what is QAnon actually? I don't even know what that is. I mean, I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
It's kind of a far right cult that came out of the Republican Party and kind of was sort of threaded out of the anti-vax movement during the pandemic.
Okay.
I have a family member on my husband's side who has fallen into the QAnon on my husband's side. No, but they've fallen into the QAnon cult, and it is really the only way to get them out. And we've gone to the family, we've all gone to like therapists, we've talked to people, is for her to go see a cult deprogramming therapist. Like you actually, she is so far gone. We can't even have normal discussions with her.
I don't know what. So what is their belief? QAnon? They believe in what?
They're like anti-vax. They believe in sort of Armageddon, the end of times. They are aligned with Trump. I mean, but like the super, like he is the second coming of Christ kind of.
Is it Bible based? Is it biblical?
A lot of them are religious.
I kind of thought that would be the case.
It is. And it's multi-layers of things. It's very confusing to have conversations with them. I mean, some of the people that were like, you're magnetic after you got your vaccine, like that kind of stuff.
I tried to get Brittany to join Tomanon, but she wouldn't do it. I tried to start my own hate group.
You're still working on it.
Still working on Tomanon.
God, Tomanon, dun 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 Tomanon.
You need to start spreading that misinformation on Facebook, by the way, too, because that's where a lot of it came out of.
Oh, is that right? It's all.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing that people believe certain things and you can't talk them out of it?
I know.
That fascinates me.
So there was a big. What was the big thread? The internet thread. It was like Reddit, but underground that they used. That was where a lot of these theories came out. There was a really bad one where they were like, there are people trafficking little kids under this pizza place's basement. Mm-hmm. And somebody showed up with a gun at this like innocent pizza place. They're like, we don't even have a basement here. So there was a lot of weird stuff that came out of that.
And child trafficking is their kind of cause. So a lot of times they will utilize the hashtags that are associated with child trafficking to then get the message across on social media. So it's just one of those situations. If you feel like you're in a vulnerable position in your life and you're susceptible to people coming in and swaying your mind, you might want to stay away from something like that.
I once saw a police video, which obviously can't tell you where I saw it. That wasn't in Minnesota, actually. I can say that, though. That they had a camera set up, child trafficking. They would draw people by posting things on the internet, social media, whatever. Hey, if you're interested in, child sex trafficking, we're involved in it, or we're having a special, gathering and blah, blah, blah. You want to come over? So a guy shows up. So he wants to, have sex with a child. That's what he wants. And this is all on camera. It's all on audio. They say, we're actually the police. You're under arrest, blah, 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 blah. And you know what he said back to the cop? Well, can I still have a piece of pizza? It's like, what?
Oh, my God.
What?
That reminds me. Doesn't that remind you all of the To Catch a Predator?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Same story.
Take a seat. Take a seat.
Yep. It's like, Jesus.
And then you look in the bags of what they brought. It's always like alcohol, condoms.
Oh, yeah.
And then sometimes you have the scary ones that are bringing tape, things to...
A hood with a zipper on the mouth. That's a good one, isn't it?
Horrifying. I don't know how Chris Hansen, I would have nightmares about this. You'd really need to go to therapy to, take away some of the trauma of what you're seeing and what you're reading.
Yeah.
And he's done podcasts. I've listened to him because, they do it years later, and he's followed up with some of the suspects. And, a couple of them will get a slap on the wrist because for whatever reason, we don't treat these predators like they should be away forever, honestly. And he's like, these people sometimes get arrested 4 and 5 times before they're finally behind bars for life.
I suppose the normal human brain cannot possibly understand are they always children or people who are abused as children that do that?
No, they actually found that it's not the case all the time. Like they were saying how You know, that's one of those big misconceptions that that does apply sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's not as strong as a lineage as like they used to convey. It's usually just, linked to some. They can write it off as a mental disorder, but
I understand. All right, young lady. So I won't be on tomorrow. You'll miss me horribly, I know.
I will miss you horribly.
But I'll see you on when do I come back on the 11th of September, I think, the day after.
What's the schedule for next week? Are we on? Are we off?
You guys are on if you want to be.
Me, Rudy, and Tevin.
Indeed.
I love it.
We're not.
But I'm assuming we're off on Monday.
Monday is off. Yeah.
Monday.
So I'm still gonna message you though. So
this show's always off on Monday anyway.
Britt and I have like a secret DM relationship now.
Yeah, we are. We've talked about cats a lot. It's actually not talking shit about you.
Like everyone else does?
No.
Is that what you're implying?
No, we have actually not said one. I don't even think. All we talk about is how much we love you.
Oh, nice try.
How much we love cats.
We can actually show the messages and it would be fine.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You wouldn't be upset.
You would be super annoyed that like how much we talk about cats.
I do like cats.
I'm trying to get her to have a foster fail. I mean, literally, it's about cats. It's really wholesome, honestly. We have a very wholesome friendship.
4chan. Thank you, Darren, for writing in. 4chan is the origin. Thomas wrote in 4chan and 8chan. That was the big thing that QAnon arise from. I watched a documentary on it, but
I don't even know what that is.
It's just like it's like Reddit, but like super bad, like super bad.
I gotta go home and lock the door. Should I just do that?
Yeah, and then
it's the dark web, Tom. You don't want to go there.
Oh no! Thank you. You're absolutely right. All right, we will talk to you in a week.
I'll talk to you in a week, but I'll see everybody else tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Thank you, my dear.
Thank you.
Have a good day. We need to take a break. Be right back in a couple of minutes. Hi, this is Tommy B from my friends at Niemeyer Trailer Sales. Their Albertville location off Interstate 94 would like to extend a special offer going on now through the Minnesota State Fair. Along with everything you can buy on a stick at the Great Minnesota Sweat Together, you should have some cool incentives with a State Fair deal when you purchase an RV from Niemeyer's Albertville location. How's this sound? Receive a free exterior ceramic coat and NanoCure interior treatment. These coatings provide a durable, long-lasting shield against dirt, water, and UV rays, and basically extend the life of your RV to keep it looking newer and lasting longer. It's a $2,000 value. Free with purchase if you get an RV from Niemeyer's by September 5th in Albertville only, plus great deals on their campers at both Albertville and Elko New Market, now through the end of the State Fair. Take your passion on the road with Niemeyer Trailer Sales and see my guys and gals at Niemeyer's and look at what they got at Niemeyers.com. That's Niemeyers.com. Niemeyers.com. Your State Fair deals end on September 5th. Oh, and tell them Tommy sent you. Hi, this is Tom Barnard here for Power Lodge and Miller Marine. Attention all power sports enthusiasts. This August, we invite you to celebrate with Power Lodge as we hit a major milestone, 25 years of bringing action and excitement to Minnesota as your go-to destination for all things marine and power sports. Each of our locations will host a local community appreciation day. Join us in Brainerd, Ramsey, Onamia, or Sauk Rapids as we roll out the red carpet with delicious food, amazing prizes, fantastic giveaways, and unbeatable special pricing. We'll be raffling off a variety of Polaris ATVs and snowmobiles. Check out PowerLodge.com for event dates nearest you. Throughout August, we've got something special planned. Follow us on social media as we unveil 25 days of deals on the latest off-road and on-road vehicles, boats, and supplies from the top brands in power sports. That's right, 25 days of back-to-back incredible offers. You won't want to miss this. So mark your calendars and get in on the action during our 25th anniversary. Power Lodge, where your adventure begins. You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation, 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
Let's talk about acoustic wave therapy and whether or not this therapy could be right for you. What is it? It's the latest advancement in the treatment of erectile dysfunction. It's been offered by at Twin Cities Premier Health in Edina. It's being offered right there. That's where I go, as a matter of fact, the one in Edina. Acoustic wave therapy is a non-invasive, non-surgical, highly effective science-based procedure that creates an increase in blood flow and treats the root cause of most erectile dysfunction. Right now, Twin Cities Premier Health has a special offer of free treatment and a free consultation when you book today. This is valued at $800. Use savings code TOM at TwinCitiesPremierHealth.com. Just like I've experienced at Twin Cities Premier Health, there are no medications to take. You'll notice that their work is overseen by highly trained health professionals all along the way. If you aren't interested in continuing to take a pill to create a pharmaceutically induced erection and take away all spontaneity in your love life, connect with the team at Twin Cities Premier Health like I did. Right now, receive this special offer, a free treatment and a free consultation when you book today. This is valued at $800. You can reach them at my unique phone number, 952-395-4346. That's 952-395-4346. Or go to TwinCitiesPremierHealth.com and use savings code TOM. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, 8:24, now 24 minutes after 8 o'clock. News brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. Chris Egert from Channel 5 Eyewitness News at the Minnesota State Fair.
Good morning.
That was your big intro. What do you think of that?
I think it's great. Thank you.
It all works out in the end, man. We had so much fun last Saturday. I'm never going to stop raving about that. It was wonderful.
Listen, it's a good time at the fair. I don't care what anybody says.
That really sounds like you got your heart.
Some people don't like the fair, but I think it's great. But that's all I'm saying.
Well, it is very crowded for people who don't like crowds. It's going to be a problem. You're right.
For sure, but that's why you got to get out and early. Get here at 7 o'clock when it opens up. You get the run of the place. None of the riffraff. The weather's nice.
You mean there are no radio people there? The riffraff?
Hey.
I'm actually standing right behind the radio booth or the radio building. I was just chatting with some of the radio riffraff a couple minutes ago.
This radio riffraff is coming there today, so
Sweet.
We're gonna try to seek you out, Chris. But I feel like we're gonna get there and you're gonna be gone because you probably sneak out of there. Yeah, good call.
I'm out by noon.
Good call.
Noon.
It's too hot. I'll melt.
It's supposed to be beautiful today. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know. I'm just kidding.
It's supposed to be absolutely gorgeous.
Awesome today.
So what's happening in the news, Pally?
More of that stuff that's been going on the last several days with the school resource officers. It's starting to, you guys mentioned, or remember I mentioned it a couple days ago, that change in the law has all the law enforcement agencies really anxious to put school resource officers back in the schools because I think they think they're not going to be able to properly do their jobs. And now there's some state lawmakers actually trying to get a special session going to come back and change or add some clarity. So, and, of course, school starts, it's already started in some districts, and it gets started for most of the other districts on Tuesday. And there's no way they're going to get a special session called by Tuesday, if at all. So it's kind of an ugly situation because over the last couple of years, a lot of the people or a lot of the districts started kind of pushing the SROs out of the school districts anyway for political correctness reasons. And so it's, and it all comes down to, for me as a parent, just wanting to have our kids safe, right? So It's too bad that there's some red tape and some politics and bureaucracy kind of standing in the way of that, I guess.
Well, did they notice that when they went after the cops out in the streets, that crime went through the roof? Do they want the same thing to happen in our schools, too?
Yeah, I don't know. It
makes no sense to me.
It doesn't make any sense, but we got our best people on it.
There was a hall guard, I believe it was 1969 or 1970, somewhere in there. I might be wrong on the year. It might have been earlier than that, might have been later. I think if it was anything, it was probably earlier. But she didn't cause any trouble in the halls of North High. You know why?
Because people were scared of her?
It wasn't a woman. It was a man.
Oh,
it was a hall guard.
Yeah.
And his name, he became famous later on, right after he left there. He had met a woman. He was not from here, but he met a woman here. And so he moved here so he could kind of be with her. Mm-hmm. He didn't cause any problems at North High because one of the hall guards was George Foreman.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I don't think I'd mess with Big George, eh?
Probably not want to piss off George Foreman.
I was just telling my girlfriend yesterday about George Foreman because we were talking about the George Foreman grill. And I said,
Phenomenal.
Everybody knows, especially our generation, we know George Foreman as the, this is my son George and my other son George.
Yeah.
Get a Hertz rental car. We're going to knock out fat. 10 years before all that came about, he was the scariest man on the planet.
No doubt about
He would
it.
punch guys in the first round and they would never fight again. That's how scary he was. And then one
Just
day.
like this. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
That big.
And then one day he was like, I need to start making money and I got to stop being the scary guy. So he shaved the mustache and got the grill and then put his name on it. And now it's through the roof with the juicers and the rental cars and the endorsements. But for the longest time, he was arguably one of the meanest men you've ever come across.
No doubt about it.
Still,
and by the way, sweetheart now.
Oh, yeah.
He's been on the show many, many times back in the old morning show. Nicest guy in the world.
So people change.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Didn't have to be a tough guy.
I don't think he necessarily changed, right? Like, he just harnessed the other side of it and might have been there. I mean, you can't be Mr. Nice Guy when you're beating people's ass. I mean, you know what I mean?
Sure.
That's
Chris,
a good way to put it.
I have a question. Do you believe people can change?
This is a very, very deep question. I think people can have a change in attitude, but my personal opinion on that is that, people are who they are.
Ha ha, you just got burned to the ground on that one.
No, I actually thought that's what he was going to say. I could
Liar.
tell by Chris's I'm getting a feel of who Chris is, and I could see that you are somebody who believes that people don't change that much.
I mean, I think you can really overhaul yourself and do this, that, and whatever, but I feel like I don't know, I'm who the heck am I to say?
No, it's interesting.
You have a different opinion on that, Brittany?
I don't know. I guess I have to. I do believe people can change, but I don't think it's as easy as making the decision to change. Like, you're right.
Yeah,
I think there is that self-work perspective. I think some big things have to happen, but I think more often than not, people don't change because they choose not to change.
I would agree with that.
All right, I have to get to some important news here. And since you're on the site, Space Tower closed for the rest of this year's Minnesota State Fair. What the hell happened?
We just confirmed that this morning.
Did you really?
Yeah, apparently there's some kind of a part. They were having problems with it early in the fair. They thought that they were going to be able to get said part and get it fixed. But I guess they have now conceded they will not be able to get that fixed.
Oh, Space Tower's always been a big part of the fair, though. That's too bad.
I know. I was trying to think, though. I don't think I've been on there since I was about in 7th grade.
Yeah.
So it's been a couple of years.
Yep.
But it is a lot of fun. There's no doubt about it.
That's too bad. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Oh, you got to go, don't you? You're still on the news. You got to go at 8:31, don't you?
I'm sorry. It's a 3-ring circus out here, man.
You're a disaster. Well, I'll be back on the what is it, the 10th or 11th of September, so I'll just talk to you
Yeah,
then.
enjoy your time.
It should be good. I need some time off, I will tell you that.
Enjoy it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye.
Have a good day. Ladies and gentlemen, news brought to you by Mr. Money Talk Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. Chris Egert out at the Minnesota State Fair. Do they still call it the Great Minnesota Get-Together?
Yeah.
The voice of the State Fair, for years was a Hubbard employee named Jim Wise.
And who
you guys
is-
ever know Jim?
Is it that whoa, the fair? Like, is that because there's a
I don't know that he talked like that.
Well, there's a guy they still use, and I wonder if it's the same guy.
I don't know if it is still Jim or not. I haven't seen a commercial in a long time for this fair.
In my mind, it's as far as it goes back, it's that same voice.
Yeah.
God, Passolt did a version of that for the old On the Q morning show.
Yeah.
It was incredibly funny.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, it wasn't it kind of like they synced it up to music, right?
Yes,
It'd be like,
they did.
get a hot dog on a stick. Get
That's
a
the
hot
one.
dog on a stick. Yeah.
See those people? They hate you. They hate you.
Yeah.
It was very funny. Passolt's a very funny guy. God, I hope he's not in town to hear this.
No, don't worry.
Yeah,
He's
no.
probably already golfing somewhere.
He probably is, but yeah, I love that Minnesota State Fair. It was all very negative,
Just
but
one
funny.
thing.
So that's cool. But yeah, that's too bad. Space Tower, you don't want that closed. You guys ever been on Space Tower?
One time, and I think I would be fine not going
again.
on again. Not because it's like miserable. It's just kind of boring.
It's boring because you just go up like an elevator.
And you're not even that high. Like
No.
you're not. It's like
Yeah.
I could see like taking a kiddo up there, but like I remember
Yeah.
being like
Yeah,
a
there you
teenager,
go.
being like, was this worth it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it free?
I imagine it must be some sort of charge to it. $3, $5, something like that.
Yeah. I had like one time finally done that, like where you go over the fair in those little 2-seater. I can't know, what is that even called?
Yeah, like
the Skyrider.
Skyride, yeah.
Oh, Skyride, yeah.
And that's surprisingly fun. It's slow. Like it's not very like it won't get you to your destination all that much faster, but when it's so packed, if you just like hover on over everybody,
Mm-hmm.
you feel like $1 million.
That apparently is the big online dating spot.
Interesting.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so you meet somebody on Bumble or Grindr, you guys meet up, you jump on the sky ride, you do the sky ride, and then think, oh, is this, that way you're not committed to being.
I like that.
It's just whatever it is.
But
7,
it is
8
hard
minutes.
to get to the fair. So it's like, are you going to go with a big group and then
Yeah,
branch off?
branch
and
off,
then
yeah.
and then you've got friends that are like, is she coming back?
Mm-hmm. Tom, you skier at all?
Ice, like in snow?
Yeah.
No.
No?
Like in
I am not an outside guy in
That's
the
it.
winter.
Yeah,
I
that's-
hate winter.
But that's a good question because he could have,
Water.
Yeah, water, absolutely. But there's a thing about being on a chairlift that
Yeah.
they have trees on certain
Yeah,
hills where
yeah.
women will like throw their bras on the tree.
Oh, right.
They're called broad trees or underwear trees. There is a building at the Minnesota State Fair, and I cannot remember the name of
Yeah.
what it is, but it is littered with people's trash.
Wonderful.
The pictures are insane. It's bras, it's underwear, it's people's love notes, it's people are throwing whatever they can. An old lawnmower made its way up there one day.
Alexis from the My Talk Morning Show takes a picture of it every
Yes,
day. And so
hilarious.
if you follow her on Instagram, you can see it every day. Linda just acquires more bras,
Mm-hmm.
some bright bras. And like I imagine, because when we were snowboarding, people used to do that all the time. And I imagine you bring like a specific throwing bra, right?
Sure.
Like, yeah, like you have your bra on and then you go and you get like a cute bra or something bright. But yeah, it's fun to see that progress. By the end of the fair, it's just littered.
But climate change is my fault with your filth in the tree.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
Thank you.
Of course this comes back to
Typical.
climate change and these bras they throw on roofs.
Oh, they were on it big time on CNN last night.
Were
Boy,
they?
climate change was everything's climate change. I know you want to make money. Shut up.
Yeah,
Be quiet.
I know.
Let me know when your friend's ready.
I will.
All right, works for me. But apparently Buxton's down. He's with the Saints, so he can't say he's down with the Saints because they're right across the river. But Buxton makes return to center field with the Saints. We'll see he's back on defense. We'll see how that turns out. Man, he gets hurt a lot.
I know. How old is he? How old is Buxton?
I have no idea.
I'm going to look it up.
I know
29.
He's 29. He plays hard, so I understand that's one reason he gets hurt a lot because he plays very, very hard. No question about it. But man, he gets hurt a lot.
I know, but when he is at his peak, watching him do anything is the most amazing thing. He is so athletic. But yeah, he gets hurt a lot.
That game yesterday was disgusting.
Was it bad?
I watched the whole game like a fool. I don't know why I did it. Watched the whole game. Twins were up 2-0 through 8 innings, and of course got their ass handed to them in the 9th and 10th innings and lost the game.
Yeah.
Typical is all I have to say.
I don't know. I mean, okay, so what's going on with the Twins at the end of the week?
End of the week.
Like, don't they have there's big games happening soon this week, or is it next week?
Do you mean the playoffs?
Yeah.
It's another month.
Oh, I thought that was the end of the next week. That's what we were
No.
talking about, Rudy.
No, we were talking about them clinching.
Yeah,
And then
clinching.
clinching the NL or the AL Central, and then being able to move into the playoffs, but not for a while.
And
so.
you're like sure that's going to happen.
No.
no,
Oh,
that's
you're
not even a
not.
definite. No,
No, because they would have gone up by 7 games had they held on to that 2-0 lead for one more inning. But the errors that bullpen sucks. Our biggest closer threw a pitch. Remember the pitch that I threw on Tom Barnard Day at the? My pitch was closer to the plate than his was.
Oh, it's not great.
It was the worst pitch I have ever seen. They tied the game up. Guy came in from third, tied it up, and then of course they hit a 3-run homer to win it in the 10th. Just 10th or 11th again. I think it was the 10th. But I was so pissed off by that time I couldn't even think.
Oh.
I mean, not as mad as I am at Liz, but you know what I'm saying. Liz.
What are you mad at me for?
I don't know. I was making it up as I go along.
Liz Giel, how the heck are you?
Oh, I'm so good, Britt. How are you?
Good. We were just talking about the coven this morning.
Oh, I'm sorry I missed it. What did we talk about?
Well, we like the shared workspace. And where are your guys' locations? Me and Tom were talking about getting me a membership because he doesn't want me in the studio anymore.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Well, perfect. We have 3 locations in the Twin Cities. We have 2 in Minneapolis and 1 in St. Paul.
Okay, the reason it came up is because there's an article in the Star Tribune this morning. The headline reads, "Why are there no lesbian bars in the Twin Cities?" And 2 lines down it says, "The Coven, a Twin Cities co-working space created for women, people of color, and LGBTQ workers." That's how your name came up.
Well, that's us. It's good to see you can still read, Tom.
Yeah, after all these years, I finally learned how to read.
Proud of you.
So I'm not invited, though, obviously.
You're absolutely invited.
No,
We'd
it says
love to
women,
have
people
you.
of color, and LGBTQ workers. That's what it says.
Well,
I'm out.
That's right. So,
Stiff arm.
Let me tell you a little bit more about it, Tom. So we started the Coven 5 years ago. I have 3 business partners, and we all come from the advertising industry. And we had many experiences ourselves personally with sexism, racism, homophobia within our workplaces. And so we thought, what if we designed an environment where folks of historically underserved communities had their experiences honored and celebrated within the workplace? So the Coven is open to everyone, but we do really prioritize those communities through both our space design and a lot of the events that we host.
So what do you mean space design? How would you design a space for certain people?
Yeah, I'll give you one example. We have amenities in our workspace that are maybe not typical or, maybe starting to become more typical. For one, the parent and prayer room. So a lot of us as new mothers in the workforce had to go into bathroom stalls to pump while we worked.
Right,
so that would be one example. We also have local artists, artists of color who are represented in our spaces through murals, artwork, etc. So there's just a couple of examples, but we try to be very intentional about having those different experiences represented throughout our spaces.
Yeah, the only thing that obviously I get very touchy about that because I've been called every name in the book and it's all bullshit. But, people just love to do that. They use the very things they shouldn't use to try to marginalize people. And that's the only thing I'm afraid of when we start throwing terms around because people just love. It's such a Minnesota thing to do. Let me get right behind you in a very passive-aggressive way, and then I'll just throw a name at you, and hopefully it'll hurt you immensely. I don't understand why people do that. It makes no sense.
Oh, what terms are you talking about?
Well, like calling people racist or homophobic or any of those things when they're not. People do that all the time now, either to harm somebody or to make money. And I really wish they wouldn't do that. Look, you have to understand, one of my best friends in the world became a woman. He was a guy, became a woman, what was that, 25 years ago?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Or maybe more than that even.
Yeah. And you had her on the show. And,
all the time.
Yeah, and it was.
Still love the person. It used to be a guy, now is a woman. Why do I care? Why would I care?
And I know this about you, and you would hate if that person felt like they couldn't enter a space, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, We would KQRS was the first morning show that hired not 1 but 2 black people, but racist came out. Yeah. I mean, where do you find that information? I just really wish we'd all be treated the same. That would be really nice. I know we're a long way from that, and that certain people are getting in the way. There's no doubt about it. Do you think we'll ever achieve that spot where because I already don't give a rat's ass what it's all about.
Yeah.
If I can help you out, got no problem with it. But people are making a lot of money throwing terms around, and that's what pisses me off about it the most, Liz. It really does.
I understand that, Tom. I think for us, when we started our business, we were very intentional about having conversations with people of color, people from the queer community. The exact communities that we wanted to serve. And they told us it was important for us to say that this is a space for them where they can feel welcome, where they can be celebrated. And I think exactly what you're talking about with your friend and what Brittany mentioned was we wanted to be very clear that there is a space for them at the Coven.
Good.
And that are, again, all are welcome there. But it was important for us, again, to celebrate communities that often feel overlooked or dismissed in other spaces. So I think we all, part of the mission of the Coven is really to achieve what you're talking about, a world where everybody feels included and welcome.
That's exactly what I'm striving for. And again, my big deal is I just really wish that poor people weren't ignored.
Yeah.
There are poor people that are being harmed on a daily basis, and nobody gives a rat's ass. Nobody cares.
Because there's no money to make, right?
There's no money to be made by helping poor people, apparently. I really wish we would help everyone. I mean, look, the headline above, talking about the Coven, the headline above that is, why are there no lesbian bars in the Twin Cities? Why would you know if there were lesbian bars or not? Because if lesbians want to hang out at a bar, that's their business, isn't it?
I would think yes. And I haven't read the article. I have to add it to my list this morning. I did hear that article was in process.
Yeah.
What I often hear from the queer community is there is a desire to have a space where they can feel fully comfortable being themselves, not feel pressure to edit who they are, change their personality to fit in. So I would imagine that's the spirit of the question.
Yeah.
Versus creating, separate spaces for individual communities. I think the goal really is to have more spaces for all different types of people.
Yeah, see, it's weird to me because the perception, when I moved back here from New York, the perception was totally different. Because, Brittany knows me well enough, my family, and it's not like we pick them out. We have 4 friends that are trans people. They started as men, became women. We didn't go pick them out of the crowd. It's not like we were, in an apple orchard. That's the way it happened.
Yeah.
I was in the voiceover business for 50 years. And I tell you one thing, if you're homophobic in the voiceover business, you ain't ever going to work. I can promise you that. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, and I think a big thing, too, Tom, I know you get these names thrown at you. I think a big thing we always have to be so intentional about is, it's almost like a distraction. It's like the fake news of it all.
Yeah.
That's
my problem,
when you throw all these names out, you're missing the people that really are sneaking under, that want that. And I think that could, I know you through and through, and I know you've had a lot of names, and I know it's hurtful. I know it sucks.
There's no reason for it because, again, it's a candy-ass's way to get back at you.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to hurt him as much as we can. Yeah, I'm sorry I succeeded and you didn't. Sorry. There, I apologize for what I really did wrong in their case.
I'll tell you this, what I really love, and I have, me, I've never worked a day in my life, so
Liz, that's true, because if you know her, she's, that's a fact.
It's why I don't have a membership.
I really admire about her.
Yeah, that's why I don't have a membership to the Coven, because I would go there and distract people who are working. But I do say that, it's nice when there are these places of work that have been created always with the mindset of a certain person. And so I'll tell you what, I would have been terrified to have been pumping at KQRS, at Cumulus. Where would I have done it? Where would I have done it? In my car? In the prize closet?
Right. You're right.
And so I like the idea that there is just the kind of places created with a different beginning started. With, that seed of the idea has a different mindset, because that is not something that's always thought about, is where are we going to be doing A, B, and C, because that wasn't a thing that was needed in the past.
Liz, I will tell you, this all came up because just yesterday I got, I guess it was a couple of days ago, received a text message from a friend who showed me an article that appeared about how I am making a massive mistake on this show by saying that I'm not on the far left, I'm not on the far right, I'm not even left, I'm not right, I'm right in the center. That's where I am. This guy railed on me for about 5 paragraphs, but I'm here to tell you, Liz, one of the reasons that you're on this morning is because I'm sick to death of, oh, you're different than I am. I don't care. I really wish we could get to a point where, why would I possibly care what your orientation, skin color, what your faith is, whatever? Don't shove it down my throat and we'll be fine, right?
Yep. And I think where our ideas are aligning here, Tom, is the Coven's very focused on trying to figure out what works for people. I really hear what you mean when you say there's a lot of name calling. There's a lot of here's what you're doing wrong. Here's what the problems are.
Right, exactly.
So a lot of our work, and if you read the Star Tribune article, it mentioned a recent study that we conducted with the LGBTQ community. And inherently, when you're conducting a study, you have to identify what the problems are. But we really try to focus on what works, what makes you feel seen and included and valued, and gives you a sense of belonging in the workplace and in the world. And so our mission really is, how do we get to a place that really works for people? And I think we all agree that it's really not productive to be calling names, to be, pointing fingers at folks. And in a lot of ways we can understand, especially from folks who are part of historically underserved communities, there is a lot of frustration. There is a lot of anger, understandably so. And, we expect at times that will be expressed. But again, we're trying to kind of keep our eyes to the future, where we want a world where everybody really feels celebrated and valued.
And how about leave us alone, whether it's because we're straight, we're gay, we're white, we're black, whatever the hell it is, just leave me alone. Let's get along and let's go forward. Let's build some. Like I said, I don't really agree with the slogan that you guys use over at the Coven, the fact that we accept this person, this person, this person, but we don't like Liz. I don't like that last part of it.
We don't, but no Tom Barnard.
No, I threw Liz under the bus.
Well, I'm actually editing the website right now.
There you go.
Liz, it's so good to hear about your voice. My mom's going to freak out that you're on the show.
Oh, my gosh, mine too.
Okay, Liz, here's what we're going to do. We'll all shoulder to shoulder. We're going to try to bring everyone together. So keep them away from the national news, because all they do in the national news is talk about how different we all are. I enjoy the differences. Let's get together. Let's live our lives and shut up, for Christ's sake.
Well, I don't disagree with you, Tom. And since you're on this reading streak, I have a great report for you about how the news is ruining us. So I'll send you that to add to your library. But here's what we'll do, Tom. We're going to have you over to the Coven. You're going to be welcomed with open arms. We'll get you a beverage and a snack, and you'll see what it's all about.
How about if we do a show over there someday? That'd be good. A show at the Coven.
Let's do it. We're in.
I love it. Liz, it's so great of you to call in, honestly, because you're very even keel. You're very accepting. Most people get, I got to put a little edge on.
Oh, but don't give her tequila.
Liz or me.
Me. I'm not allowed either.
Yeah, no tequila for
Is
Tom
that going to be part of the show at the Coven?
Right? Yeah. Everyone else
exactly.
drinks to make us better.
Liz, I think just talking to you now, for the people that are listening, people are starting to feel better, I hope, about let's come together. We've got to stop using each other to make money by pointing out our differences. Stop making money off of misery. Let's come together and live our lives. Don't you think?
I think everybody wants that, I would imagine. And it's hard to disagree with what you're saying. And, we recognize that there are inherent challenges and that our society is not designed for that at the moment, but we hope there is a future where it is.
Indeed. Liz, I really, really enjoyed talking to you. Thank you so much for calling in, because it's just, it gave us a great idea, and it's nice to hear another person say, look, let's come together and stop trying to make money off other people's misery. Love it.
I'm with you, Tom. It was a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's our great pleasure to have you. Thank you, my dear, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye, Liz. Love you.
Goodbye, Britt. Love you.
She didn't say she loved me. What the hell's that?
I have
what did
known
I
Liz since 8th grade.
Oh, have you really?
8th grade. I met Liz in 8th
Which
grade.
Time? One of the 3 years you were in 8th grade?
Second year of 8th grade for me.
Second year of 8th grade.
I knew you were going to love her. And I knew
she's wonderful.
She loves you. We've talked so many times where I messaged her during the commercial. I was like, we're just talking about the Coven. She goes, do you need me to call in? She's like, I'd love to talk about the Coven.
Love it.
It's so funny because, there is a perception of A, B, and C on both sides. And like, I know you both so well. And I'm like, you guys would get along famously.
Who, Gelfand and me?
Hey,
I don't think so.
Gelfand.
Let me we'll close with this because we do have to take a break.
Yeah.
Why are there no lesbian bars in the Twin Cities? Isn't it better that we don't know that? Who cares?
Yeah.
You want to hang out, a bunch of lesbians want to hang in a bar? Good for you. I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
Right? Can we make this positive instead of negative?
And maybe that's the attempt, and it's just unfortunate that doesn't sell.
It doesn't sell
newspapers.
newspapers.
Yeah.
That's the answer right there. What are you looking at?
I'm just taking in this intellectual discourse.
Intellectual discourse,
Look at
ladies
you.
and gentlemen. And let's never forget that. Mike just said that. So what's happening, Pally?
It's another beautiful day.
It is a nice day today. Sunny and, 62 now?
At least, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's very nice. And seasons are changing.
In about 2 weeks, are going to change a lot, as a matter of
It's going
fact.
to change a lot. And
Yep.
we've got the next COVID variant is on the way. COVID is like...
And another one coming. Great.
It's like the NHL season. I never know whether it's just beginning or just ending.
That's true. So you're going to start wearing a mask again?
Got to, I think.
Do you?
But not quite yet. But I did notice today, I took an Uber, and I noticed that the driver was wearing a mask. And it was the
Really?
first time I've seen a driver with a mask on in quite a while.
Are you sure he wasn't going for your wallet?
No.
Different mask?
Come on. I don't want to have to write another op-ed in the Minneapolis Star-Tribune.
Exactly. That's exactly right. All right, we do have to take a break. Be right back. Michael Gelfand joins us, ladies and gentlemen. The MNFatLoss.com program has been with me, helping me reach my goals. And they've been doing it all summer. I feel fantastic, and the weight loss hasn't been hard. I don't feel hungry. I have a great deal of energy, and I'm getting closer to my ultimate fat loss goal. I think I got like 17 pounds to go. The MN Fat Loss team really has discovered the secret to weight loss. I lost about a pound of fat every day. I did the first 60 days in the maintenance program, and now I went back to the weight loss program to get to my ultimate goal. It's great to have these kind of results in such a short amount of time. If you want to find out the secret to losing 20 to 30 pounds in just 8 weeks, it's about a pound of fat every day, as a matter of fact. No exercise required. To schedule your free consultation, go to mnfatloss.com. That's mnfatloss.com. Results may vary. Be sure to tell the team at mnfatloss.com that Tom Barnard sent you.
The new Tom Barnard Morning Show is proud to have partners like Bradshaw & Bryant, MyPillow, and North American Banking Company founder, chairman, and president, Mike Bilski.
I've advertised on Tom's show for years, and the reason is simple. My business is recognized because of the ads, and that recognition has created growth. What business doesn't want to grow? I highly recommend the Tom Barnard Morning Show for your advertising.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner.
Hi, this is Tom Barnard here for Power Lodge and Miller Marine. Attention all power sports enthusiasts. This August, we invite you to celebrate with Power Lodge as we hit a major milestone, 25 years of bringing action and excitement to Minnesota as your go-to destination for all things marine and power sports. Each of our locations will host a local community appreciation day. Join us in Brainerd, Ramsey, Onamia, or Sauk Rapids as we roll out the red carpet with delicious food, amazing prizes, fantastic giveaways, and unbeatable special pricing. We'll be raffling off a variety of Polaris ATVs and snowmobiles. Check out PowerLodge.com for event dates nearest you. Throughout August, we've got something special planned. Follow us on social media as we unveil 25 days of deals on the latest off-road and on-road vehicles, boats, and supplies from the top brands in power sports. That's right, 25 days of back-to-back incredible offers. You won't want to miss this. So mark your calendars and get in on the action during our 25th anniversary. Power Lodge, where your adventure begins. Hi, this is Tommy B. My friends at Niemeyer Trailer Sales at their Albertville location off Interstate 94 would like to extend a special offer going on now through the Minnesota State Fair. Along with everything you can buy on a stick at the Great Minnesota Sweat Together, you should have some cool incentives with a State Fair deal when you purchase an RV from Niemeyer's Albertville location. How's this sound? Receive a free exterior ceramic coat and NanoCure interior treatment. These coatings provide a durable, long-lasting shield against dirt, water, and UV rays, and basically extend the life of your RV to keep it looking newer and lasting longer. It's a $2,000 value, free with purchase if you get an RV from Niemeyer's by September 5th in Albertville only. Plus great deals on their campers at both Albertville and Elko New Market, now through the end of State Fair. Take your passion on the road with Niemeyer Trailer Sales and see my guys and gals at Niemeyer's and look at what they got at Niemeyers.com. That's Niemeyers.com, Niemeyers.com. Your state fair deals end on September 5th. Oh, and tell them Tommy sent you. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. A little news, a little information. Michael Gelfand joining us now. What's the latest?
I can't keep track of everything going on.
Too many things?
Too many things.
Like what?
Well, like there are hurricanes.
A lot of hurricanes.
And that's kind of a big thing.
One big one.
One real big one, yeah.
Yep.
It's actually, the interesting thing about this is that, well, you could say today, it's around today, is the 123rd year anniversary of the most fatal hurricane in the history of the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
You know that?
123 years ago, and I did not know
Yeah,
that.
123 years ago was the Great Galveston Hurricane.
Oh, in Galveston, Texas?
Yeah, and Galveston was a boom town in those days.
Okay.
It was the biggest city in Texas. And there were probably, nobody knows exactly what the population was, but it probably went from 23,000 or so to about 55,000 in the 20 years up to 1900.
For what reason?
Well, because people sort of discovered it, and people were moving toward that general area. And Galveston was, of course, a gorgeous city. After all, a beautiful view of the Gulf.
Yep.
And there was oil around the general area.
Galveston Island.
It's basically an island, unfortunately, because they weren't quite right. I would say they had not taken many precautions.
They didn't tee it up well?
Well, the theory by the National Weather Service at the time was that no hurricane could ever strike Galveston. Swing and a miss.
Why would they think that?
Well, I think the guy who declared that, who was in charge of the National Weather Service, was basically acting more as a member of a chamber of commerce.
Oh.
Didn't want to scare people away. So as it turned out, Galveston, have you ever been there?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, you know how beautiful it is.
It was gorgeous, yeah.
And Galveston was, I think, something like 7 feet above sea level. And so a 17-foot wave comes in. It's going to do some damage.
Yes, I would imagine you're probably right about that.
Katrina was nothing compared to this. So nobody knows how many people died. It's hard to tell because I don't think they had a great fix on the population anyway. But somewhere around 10,000 people died.
God.
Yeah, and of course, they all drowned to death. And so a lot of those people could never even most of them couldn't even be identified.
What do you think that'll happen? Because there's still 850 people missing in Maui.
Yeah. Well, that's.
You think they're all washed out to sea?
I'd say that. I mean,
probably.
Missing means dead, generally.
Generally, yes.
Mike, there's a documentary on Netflix. I believe it's called In the Clouds or We Are the Clouds, something like that. And basically every episode of this docuseries, they take things that are somehow connected, but you would never think of it. And the reason why I bring it up is there's a species of bird that live in like the Virginia, Baltimore area, that part of the United States. And every year they migrate to South America. And they usually leave around the last part of August, beginning of September. But they noticed that if the birds leave a little earlier by a couple of weeks, they notice the storms are, because they have to be able to get over the Gulf of Mexico to South America before any hurricanes roll in.
Sure.
And if they go a little earlier, they've noticed the storms are they come in a little earlier and they're a little stronger. And one year they noticed the birds had left like the second week of July.
Oh.
And they thought, we better let some people know. So they go down to Louisiana and they go to New Orleans and they tell the people of New Orleans, hey, by the way, this is happening. And people from the National Weather Service said, that's ridiculous. All of our charts say that this is going to be one of the mildest years for hurricanes ever.
Oh, my God.
And fast forward 7 weeks later when Hurricane Katrina rolled in and completely leveled that city.
Fascinating.
Yeah, that's known as hubris. Yeah. We don't have to go by any of this stuff because we have the charts. It's like when you go to the doctor and you say to the doctor, I'm going blind. I can't see anymore. And the doctor says, I've had this experience. And the doctor says, well, that's not what the numbers show.
Yeah.
That's what my eyes
I think you need to listen to me. In this case, you need to pay attention to the birds.
Not a bad idea.
No.
Pay attention to the birds is like the craziest sentence to yell in the history of the world.
You know, it's so sad you talk about Katrina and all that stuff. Catherine and I went down and tried to help out a bunch of friends.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Went down there and tried to build housing for them. You wouldn't believe the filthy scam artists that all closed in on that city.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
these people are already hurt, and all you filthy, money-grubbing pigs show up to see how much you can steal.
It's that's the oldest trick in the book, well, besides prostitution, is when there's chaos, you just get the worst people.
You do.
I
Absolutely.
mean, even during, the Black Lives Matter protests, all of a sudden it attracts these people that are like, we also want to, what you're like, who are you? What's going on? And then, I mean, even, what's the other one? Any post-hurricane, anything where there's COVID brought out crazy people to make money.
It's what's known as executive looting.
Yeah.
It's just another form of looting. And, I'm sorry, your insurance doesn't cover this. That kind of thing, right?
I mean,
there's a lot of your insurance doesn't cover this. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Or the insurance companies just say, we're not covering this. We're supposed to, but we're just not going to.
I know. That still goes on.
It's everybody wants a piece.
They do. I mean, money. We're going to have to do something about money because it's driving everyone insane.
Well, I bet you it's happening right now in Maui that people are trying to make money off of something because people are in their most dire situation of their lives, and they're down there. I'm sure people are trying to make a buck or two.
No question
and then
about
there's it goes to every, basically it's on every level, and then you've got the preachers. Well, not really preachers. What are they? They're
snake oil.
Snake oil salesman is good enough.
You mean like Doug Sprinthal? He's a snake oil salesman.
Sprinthal, he's the worst.
Sprinthall's the worst.
Yeah, no.
And so their approach is, don't worry, just give us all your money, and God will give you twice as much as you gave me.
Yep.
So everybody wants a piece.
I know, it's true. I had a friend down there that built a bunch of condominiums and townhomes and all that stuff down in that area. He hired a construction company to partner up with him, all the rest of it. They priced each house at about $225,000. I think he said $225,000, which seems like a pretty reasonable price for a townhome. He found out after they were all built, it actually cost the guy about $80,000 to build each one.
Oh, well, that happened with.
He's making $150,000 per house.
And then here's the thing too, they were cutting corners, and happened with Brad Pitt.
Well, yeah.
Brad Pitt donated a bunch of money, and then a bunch of those houses were all faulty and falling apart, and everyone turns towards Brad Pitt, going, "What'd you do?" As if he was the construction guy.
Catherine and I went through the same thing.
And you're like, you can't do anything. Right? No good deed, right?
Let me put it this way. I won't say the exact number, but it was a lot of money that we got nailed for, and there was no question that they stole the money. The FBI came in and said, you got enough money. The FBI didn't care at all.
How does that even...
Didn't care at all.
Well, look at all the scam artists who wanted in on the COVID money.
Oh, absolutely.
And some of them were congressmen. Mm-hmm. It's every level.
Mike,
what the hell has happened to the human species?
It's got to stop. That's why, I told you, I was inspired by a stupid bastard who sent me a very negative message about how he's pissed off that I'm trying to find the middle for people. You're trying to bring us all together, and I hate it. He just went off on me because so I've decided that is my new lot in life. I'm going to work the rest of my life trying to bring people together, and if it pisses you off, too bad.
I love it.
I am sick to death of this. Oh, you're doing this and you're doing that. And one news channel says you're the greatest. The other news channel says the other side's the greatest. And they're doing it to make money.
Well, you're going to piss off people anyway, so you might as well do exactly what you want to do. So if you want to be,
To be honest, though, it's not always about money. Sometimes it's about power.
Well, same, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? Money is power.
Well, it's a form of greed, yeah.
Yeah, money is power,
and
too.
Of course, power will get you money, but...
Yeah, it's true. I just, honest to God, how you could even, did you guys happen to go anywhere near that after Hurricane Katrina, near that area?
No.
The devastation was overwhelming, and they still wandered around there. Who can I screw over? How can you live with yourself? Isn't that sad?
It's so sad.
You know what's even sadder is having to work with Doug Sprinthal.
Oh,
Welcome on the line, Doug Sprinthal, live in the new GM from Flagship Ford in Baldwin, Wisconsin, home of my new EV Ford Mustang, online, flagshipford.com. Doug, you're a semi-educated person.
Yeah, that's why I'm selling Fords.
I like that. I like the way you kind of shouted that out. That was great, as a matter of fact. No, I've decided it is now my lot in life for the rest of my life. I'm going to do everything I possibly can to bring people together because it's going to piss off all these money-grubbing pigs.
Good for you. I think that's perfect.
I am.
So
I'm
you were talking about
sick of it.
Katrina.
Yeah.
And you're always looking for stuff to watch. One of my favorite, and it's old, it's probably 10 years old or so, is an HBO series called Treme. Have you ever watched that?
I have, absolutely.
I loved it. In fact, I rewatched it a few years ago. For those that don't know what it is, it's a series about post-Katrina New Orleans, and told by residents. John Goodman is a local college professor. Steve Zahn plays this crazy DJ who comes from a wealthy family, and he just smokes weed all the time. There's a lot of cameos by musicians in there. Trombone Shorty's in it. Elvis Costello shows up. So it's a really good story, and it keeps getting better and better. I really enjoyed that show.
I love it. Sounds good to me, man. There's no question about it. By the way, I want you to be sad for me, Mr. Sprinthal.
I always am.
For Catherine and me, I want you to suffer mightily. I thought of you last night as I turned off the television with only one episode of Fisk left.
Oh yeah, we've been parsing those out.
I love that show. She is brilliant in that show.
Well, I love the brother and sister that run the law firm too. They're really funny, and it's always weird, and this, I'm going to sound racist, and I don't mean it to be, but when you see foreign people speaking with like either proper British accents or, in this case, there's a Chinese guy that works in the
he's
law
great.
firm, and we're just used to the way Chinese people speak English in this country, and it's so weird to hear them speak in, a sort of an Australian accent.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty funny.
No, I understand what
Same
you're
thing
saying.
going to London. When you hear black people in London speak the Queen's English, it's like, man, this just sounds so cool, and it's so different.
It is indeed. But
Brittany, is that terribly racist? Did I just walk into the spinning propeller?
No, but you should know that like every one of my hair stands up on the back of my neck, and I'm a hairy person.
You are.
When it stands up my neck, when somebody says this is gonna sound racist, but I literally panic.
Right.
I literally. So yes,
And
you don't have to excuse me.
Brittany, when your kids grow up, this is what you have to look forward to: sitting around and watching TV for like 40 hours a week with your husband. So enjoy these times.
I would love that.
I love that. Enjoy these times. All right, Douglas.
Well, you're going to enjoy watching when your daughter gets to be 2 or 3, watching kids shows with her. I remember watching Wallace and Gromit with my son. He loved that show when he was 2.
No, it's so fun even right now to just like pull out. I pulled out Where the Sidewalk Ends. She's a little young for it, but we just like singing. Like those are so sing-songy that she likes listening to our voices do it. So we're already having a blast with all that.
Well, when my kids were 5 or 6, I found out the only way they'd respect me is if I wore a yellow sweater, a cardigan.
I don't know about respect necessarily. Is that the right word?
It's the closest he's gotten to it. So let him have it.
Okay, good. I will. I promise. So, Dougie, I am getting more and more people coming up going, oh, my God, I heard you were driving that Mustang. They all want to see it. They all want to look at it. They love the fact that the roof is all, you can see right through the roof of the car, which I love. Driving down the street, it's like, once in a while you're like, oh, God, I'm stuck in my car. Let's say you're in a traffic jam. You can sit there and look out at all the beautiful trees through the roof of the car. It's really cool.
Yeah, I love those cars too, and we're selling a lot of them. We're actually doing really well. 10% of our used car businesses are Mach-E's right now. We're selling them almost as quick as I can find them in auctions. And I mentioned this before, but I didn't get any response. I'm wondering if because people that have never owned an electric car have just tons of questions about how everything works and what they're like. I was thinking about setting aside some Saturday in September, inviting a bunch of people out for lunch, and we'll just, maybe we'll get lucky and sell a couple, but that's not really the point. It's just to answer questions and stuff. So if you would be interested in doing that, listeners, just email me at DougAndFlagshipFord.com and say, I'd like to learn more about electric cars and drive out to Baldwin, buy some fireworks, have some hamburgers, and find out what all the fuss is about.
Can I ask a question about it? Because it
Of
always
course.
throws me off. How do you get the plug-in at your house? Like, how do you make? Is there a company? Do you guys set it up? Like, I know you purchase the plug-in,
Yeah,
but like,
so
how does that even happen?
there are two things that you have to have an outlet in your garage. You have to have 240-volt line in your garage. Some people have their electrical panels in the garage. Typically, it's in the house. So you'd have an electrician wire that up. And then if you purchase the wall charger, which you can get, the basic ones are 200, the fancy ones are 700. They would install that at the same time.
Okay.
So our house, when I put ours in, it was pretty expensive because the electrical panel was as far away from the garage as humanly possible. And I think it cost $1,200 to have the whole thing installed.
Okay.
Now, I did get a rebate back from, I think it was the state or my electrical supplier that covered almost half of it. So,
Okay.
and that's different based on your electric. Excel has a program. I'm in Dakota, which is a co-op. They've got different programs depending on where you live. If you go to the electric provider's website, you'll see what your options are.
But most
they'll
likely,
also.
sorry.
Go ahead.
No, but most likely it is just one appointment that would do it all. So if I
Yeah,
said,
yeah,
and
that's
that's the real thing is I don't want to be overwhelmed by the idea of like setting that up. And Tom, you said you had an easy time with it, but I never
Oh,
really got the
great.
logistics of like who to call. So the fact that it's just
Well,
one
we
person.
actually there's a guy who's an electrician who did Tom's. He's the friend of the owner of Flagship Ford, and he's like, "Hey, would you put mind-up wiring Tom Bernard's house?" And he goes, "Do I get to meet him?" I said, "Well, unless you want to break into his house, yeah, I think you're going to have to."
Well, there is that. No, he's very, very pleasant to deal with, by the way.
So the other thing, and I don't want to turn this into an all-electric seminar, but check with your electrical providers, because if you set your service up so it only works at night during certain hours, it's a lot cheaper.
Oh, nice.
So Sarah drives her Volkswagen about probably 1,200 miles a month or so, and I think it costs about $22. And we only charge at home. We never use certain chargers out in the wild because she doesn't drive that far, so
Yeah.
it works great.
Cool. Thank you for that.
But
I've
these are
been
exactly
thinking
the
about
kinds
that.
of. Yeah, a lot of people just wonder about, okay, how does this work? What's the difference between level 1, 2, and 3 chargers, and how far do they go, and what happens in winter, and what are they like to drive? So if people are interested, email me at doug@flagshipford.com, and we'll set a Saturday aside and have some fun.
Thanks.
All right, Pally. Well, we will talk to you later. I'll be out of town for a while, but when I get back, we'll schmooze and have a good time.
Enjoy your time off, everybody, and I will see you in September.
Sounds good, Dougie. Thank you.
Bye.
Longtime friend of Tom Barnard Show, Doug Sprinthal, Flagship Ford in Baldwin, Wisconsin. Online, it's flagshipford.com. I'm going to do the Pro Turf here because what I got to do is go from Doug to coming right back right after this break, Judd and Gelfand.
Wow.
What do you think of that?
Little baseball talk.
Little baseball, well, I'm not talking baseball after that game yesterday.
No,
Jesus.
please.
Oh, God.
Tom has been in a good mood all day. Why do you guys do this?
Why do the Twins do it to me, man?
I forgot that not everyone is laughing about it.
We'll be right back. I'm sure glad the miserable heat dome is now behind us. Fall may be just the best part of summer. It may just be, you know that. Along with the cooler, shorter fall days, it's one of the best times in Minnesota for landscape plantings. Pro Turf did my landscape this spring. They killed it, man. It was phenomenal. That's because of Rick. Rick had some great ideas for my yard. They can do the same for yours. Rick's a really good guy, too, by the way. A good fall established planting is much more likely to survive a summer drought than the following year. A Pro Turf certified landscape designer can help you design a landscape that not only looks nice, but also increase the value of your home. Fall is not only a great time to plant, but also a great time for hardscape patios, walkways, and retaining walls. Pro Turf is a Minnesota original, family-owned business since 1982, 41 years serving Minnesota. We care for lawns, landscapes, irrigation systems, where we live. If the weeds in your lawn are out of control, fall is the best time to get a head start for next year. Let them put together a 3 to 5 step program that is safe, effective, and guarantees results. If you want the best landscape on the block, Pro Turf is ready to give you your free landscape or lawn estimate and analysis. Visit www.professionalturf.com and click estimates for lawn care, landscaping, or schedule an irrigation service visit.
The new Tom Barnard Morning Show is proud to have partners like Bradshaw and Bryant, MyPillow, and North American Banking Company founder, chairman, and president Mike Bilski.
I've advertised on Tom's show for years, and the reason is simple. My business is recognized because of the ads, and that recognition has created growth. What business doesn't want to grow? I highly recommend the Tom Barnard Morning Show for your advertising.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner.
I'm here with Ben Williams, former defensive end for the Minnesota Vikings. Ben, you were in peak health playing football when you went into kidney failure and needed a transplant. An organ donor saved your life. What do you want people to know?
That's right, Tom. I found out my life was going to have two paths. Either hooked up to a dialysis machine 5 days a week, 4 hours a day for the rest of my life, or receive a kidney transplant. I actually started to lose hope. When I was about to start dialysis, I received a call. My perfect match for a kidney was available. A stranger checked the donor box on their driver's license and saved my life. I actually felt 18 again. Now I want to pay it forward by encouraging others to register. I learned from LifeSource that men register at rates much lower than women. We need more men to check the box at the DMV. When you pass away, that small decision and act can help someone like me.
There are 2,300 people in Minnesota like Ben right now waiting for a life-saving transplant. Make your game plan to be a hero. To learn more, visit life-source.org. Hi, this is Tom Barnard here for Power Lodge and Miller Marine. Attention all power sports enthusiasts. This August, we invite you to celebrate with Power Lodge as we hit a major milestone, 25 years of bringing action and excitement to Minnesota as your go-to destination for all things marine and power sports. Each of our locations will host a local community appreciation day. Join us in Brainerd, Ramsey, Onamia, or Sauk Rapids as we roll out the red carpet with delicious food, amazing prizes, fantastic giveaways, and unbeatable special pricing. We'll be raffling off a variety of Polaris ATVs and snowmobiles. Check out PowerLodge.com for event dates nearest you. Throughout August, we've got something special planned. Follow us on social media as we unveil 25 days of deals on the latest off-road and on-road vehicles, boats, and supplies from the top brands in power sports. That's right, 25 days of back-to-back incredible offers. You won't want to miss this. So mark your calendars and get in on the action during our 25th anniversary. Power Lodge, where your adventure begins. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 9:21, now 21 minutes after 9 o'clock. Mike Gelfand in studio, Judd Zulgad on screen. Ixnay on the Ace Ball Bay.
What do you mean? I got your text yesterday. I thought you'd be all excited to talk about the fact that they've lost back-to-back games to Cleveland. What happened?
And was Grandpa upset? Grandpa, I thought he was going to have a stroke. I thought he was going to pull a Mitch McConnell on us. It was, he was so pissed off. He swung the bat. I'm telling you, he swung. That should have been a strikeout. And then, he had to be reminded by Roy Smalley. Well, they can't really do anything about that. You can't really, you can't protest that. There's nothing you can do.
Well, had they thrown to first base, he would have been out. But he didn't throw it to first base.
Well, right, because, the thing is, nobody thought he swung.
But he did swing through it.
Well, right, but the problem was you can't do anything about that. You can't protest that. You can't appeal it. There's nothing you can do. If the umpire says he didn't swing, he didn't swing.
I got to tell you one thing that I've had enough of already is that little box up at home plate. I really wish they wouldn't have that thing up there because all it does is distract from the game.
Well, I don't know.
Because they're never right.
For me, it's just like it's just sort of it's an instinctive part of the whole process. I don't know.
Let me ask you a question. How are you, the big closer, the game's on the line, you throw one more good pitch and the game's over, that is the worst pitch I have ever seen.
Who called for the pitch? Did the catcher call for it?
Yeah, good
do
point.
They call pitches from the bench? That's what I want to know. You throw 104 miles an hour.
Yep.
Okay? Who called for that pitch?
I agree.
And how did Duran not take his head, because we all have a neck and head, and shake it and say, "No, Ryan, I'm throwing a fat." That pitch made no bleeping sense.
None.
And you see it all the time. You see it with a relief pitcher, a starter, whatever. It's a 3-2 count maybe. And the guy hasn't thrown a slider for a strike all day, right?
Right.
Yes. They call for the slider. And what does he do?
I know.
He spikes the slider.
I know. I'm telling you. And I got about 5 calls last night, Tom. I called to annoy you. Why? Because Much like politics in America, all sports are fixed. Everybody, I cannot tell you how many people I know that were pissed off about that pitch. There was no excuse for throwing that pitch. None.
No, and again, the guy throws I think he tops out at 104.
Yeah,
So it's just throwing. And guess what, too? If you get beat, let's say he throws a 104 mile an hour fastball and the guy hits it. Okay, you got beat throwing your best pitch.
That's correct.
It's baseball. One of my biggest problems with baseball now, and this directly does correlate to the analytics community, is the temptation to get cute.
Yeah,
the temptation to be we're going to throw a and it's so precious too. For instance, they've invented pitches now. The sweeper.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that.
The sweeper.
The sweeper. What's the difference between a sweeper and a slider? Well, the sweeper is a bigger slider.
Yeah.
Right? And how do you now there's the sinker, which is actually a fastball. And sometimes the sinker winds up being called a ball because it's a foot above the strike zone. How can it be a sinker if it's a foot above the strike zone?
I agree.
It's so true.
No,
yes.
I am so upset with the Twins right now. That bullpen is dreadful.
Yeah, bullpens in general are going through a lot of trouble now this time of year.
You're right.
Well, it's because guys get used a lot, right?
Yeah.
And because it's not, in the old days when starters, and I don't mean to be old man yells at clouds, but in the old days when a starter would routinely go 7, innings, the bullpen would be used, but not as much. But now it's also fragmented and segmented into, okay, this guy goes 5. By the way, did you guys see post-game on Bally's, did you see the Sonny Gray post-game presser?
Oh.
I thought I love that guy. He looked like he wanted to kill somebody.
I agree.
Yeah, he's
game.
He's not the happiest guy right now.
Well, that was a beautiful 7 innings, man. It was
and
gorgeous.
he always is griping about this, and for good reason. He could have a perfect game going, they'd lift him after 6 innings.
I know.
And he makes it clear that's just stupid.
They should never have pulled him out of that game.
That's probably the biggest reason why he won't be with the Twins next year.
Well, like I said, typical Italian.
Can't please him.
Well, he's right not to be pleased. I would be pissed off too.
God, yes.
Because like Tom said, Mike, when you pitch that well, right? I get it. If he had struggled, if he started to struggle, but I think he was at 81 pitches. Give him another inning.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what? You should just let him decide.
Mm-hmm.
How much better would the game be? And this guy's a veteran. He's one of the best pitchers in the league. His ERA is about 3.1 or something. I mean, it's nobody has an ERA that low anymore.
Not anymore, no.
So just look, you're a manager. If we're talking about Rocco, you're a manager who really doesn't. I mean, he's a clerk, right? He's not a manager. He doesn't manage anything.
Right.
He just
Correct.
takes the analytics and tries to please 3 different executives. So just go out there and say, what do you think, Sonny? Can you give it another inning? And Sonny says, yep. And then you walk back. You're
there
done.
you go.
But managers don't come out anymore to talk to pitchers. They only come out there to lift them. And it used to be managers were the guys who'd come out to the mound and talk to the pitcher. And they would oftentimes, pitchers would often convince them not to take him out. But now the manager, when he crosses the line, he's already tapping on his right elbow.
Yeah, yep. Well, I mean, look, we have the same situation here. You go through, this is a 3-hour show, you go through 2 hours and 15 minutes of Brittany being perfect.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you just go, well, should we let her go on or should we pull her?
Exactly.
Yeah,
and I say let her go on.
At 7:10, Tom's like, we should pull her.
Let's
pull her.
Get her out of there.
And she's throwing sweepers over here. Let's get her out of here.
But honest to God, Brittany, did you see the game last night?
No, I live
I'm not kidding
vicariously through your twitchy face, and I just know that it's probably not good.
No, she can. She can tell by the look on my face when I come in the morning if the Twins won or not.
Oh, before that,
true.
before they hit the I in the word Twins, I can tell you if we shouldn't be talking about them.
That's true.
Gelfand coming and going twin, and I say stop.
Hey, I am here to stoke discord.
This is true.
I mean, it's only been
Amen,
45
brother.
years.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And here's another thing about baseball. Speaking of trips to the mound, that absolutely drives me up the bleeping wall. Who started this whole thing? And the pitching coach, Pete Mackey, does it every time, of coming out to the mound and covering your face. Everybody covers their mouth now.
I know they do.
As if
It's
everybody
hilarious.
can lip read. Like,
Well,
lip
yeah, and
reading
it's
is
not just
hard.
that. It's like what he's saying is probably something like, yeah, you're looking pretty good out there. Just calm down and,
it'd be
just
good.
throw your best pitch. And then he leaves. It's not
There's
not
no
like
big
it's some sort of
secrets.
Japanese atomic code.
Let's be honest. They're probably like, "You trying to get lunch after this?" Yeah. What are you
Ooh,
thinking?
there you go.
Jimmy John's? Jimmy John's? Jimmy John's?
Subway?
Subway? Jimmy John's?
Oh, God.
And moving on from that to another aspect of the game, there's a guy on the Twins team. You know who he is, but I'm not going to say it. I'll let you guys figure it out. Who is probably going to wind up being injured within the next 3 or 4 weeks, and maybe even losing his career because apparently he just doesn't care about his body. You know who I'm talking about?
No.
You got it, Judd? Who's the guy who's most likely to be injured tomorrow?
Buxton. Is that what you're saying?
Buxton's out with the Saints
Oh,
right
well,
now.
no, he comes pre-injured.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
No.
and he cares about his body. He just can't stay healthy.
I'm talking about Matt Wallner.
Yeah, he's a big fella.
He's going to wind up getting hit 50 times a year
Yeah,
if
he
if he ever could play that many games.
12 times so far?
12 times so far. he's on a rate, and absolutely right now. And if you look at the number of times he's hit per plate appearance, a full season, he might actually get hit 50 times.
He might. That's true.
Yeah. No, you can't bat like that. You
I
can't
know.
throw your body over the plate as you swing and expect to survive.
Yes, so he does. He is a modern day Don Baylor or Ron Hunt in that sense that he throws his body. But he starts with he hits left-handed and he starts with an open stance. But then to what Mike is saying, he closes it up. And he also has that elbow protector.
Yeah.
Right.
And on Tuesday, when I was at the game, he literally put the elbow protector and took it off of that. So
Okay.
yes, he is trying to get. In my opinion, there's a lot of times if it's inside, he's going to get hit, and he does not care about that.
Well, he's the guy who got hit while he was swinging one day. I mean, that's how far over the plate he is. So if a guy gets hit by a pitch while he's swinging the bat, there's something wrong there. But these are 90 mile an hour, 98 mile an hour fastballs. Even if it's a slider, it's 92 miles an hour. He can't survive doing this.
Now, look, I'm not criticizing this next guy, but it's something that if I were a coach, I would have gotten to him about 2 weeks ago and said, you better pay attention to this. I really like Jeffers as a catcher. I think he's a hell of a hitter. But he has shown in the last few weeks, if you throw it high and tight, he will swing every time, and he will never hit the ball.
Oh, dang.
He's got that really, really bad area. He has got to stop swinging at those high and tight pitches.
Yeah, you can get him on that.
And does everybody know that then? Like all the pitchers know
Well, the
that?
smart people.
Hey, the Tomers
Tom
Bernard.
knows it, so he tells the opposing pitchers, "Hey, drive me bleeping crazy by
Right.
throwing up and into Jeffers."
Every time he swings at it.
Now, Jeffers has actually, to his credit, turned himself into a pretty good catcher from a
He
guy
has.
that I did not think was great. Do you
Yep.
know who Christian Vasquez, who they signed to a 3-year contract, and who came advertised as being good with pitching staffs. Have you ever seen a guy who struggles to catch a baseball at
Yeah, it's
times
tough.
like
I know,
him?
it's unbelievable.
And why is he playing more than, say, once a week?
How can you not catch the ball though? That's what I don't get. Like he has the baseball at times go off his glove like he's a little leaguer.
Well, he never did have a reputation as a great defensive catcher. So, but I
thought
think
he
we're
could
seeing
catch
him.
the ball,
I think
though.
we're seeing worse than we expected, though. Yeah.
Yes, and I mean that's the type of thing too that if he's playing in a playoff game, that's the type of thing. That's a small thing, but I mean if that's a pass ball there, guy standing on second now or third, so
And it's
it's
part
clean
of their
up, dude.
defense, which is not very good.
Yeah, they're a dumb baseball team.
There you go.
Okay.
They're dumb.
Tell me,
home now.
Rudy,
We're
write that time down. I need
We're
that
heading
as
to
my
the house.
phone ring.
9:33.
That's so good.
Well,
Yeah, they're a fun dumb, but like that's the conclusion.
Yeah, no, they've got a lot of guys who are DHs, but the only problem is you can only have one.
No, that's true.
And what
No,
happens
you're right.
if Buxton actually comes back? Nobody knows if he really will.
Right.
But he's going to be the DH well, he's got to be the DH.
Mm-hmm.
And this team does have 3 or 4 guys who should only be DHs, like Julian, for example.
Yeah.
He can't. You put a glove on him, it's a disaster.
Yeah, they actually are playing Buxton because he started his rehab assignment with the Saints last night in St. Paul. They're actually trying him back in center. So their goal.
So I heard,
my
yeah.
problem is he won't last there.
No, that's right.
He'll get hurt.
Yeah, and they have a perfectly good center fielder. Just stick with it.
Do you see that catch he made last night? Holy Christ, was that a great catch?
Well, and the thing is he knows where to go when the ball is hit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Half the
yeah.
guys out there don't know where to go. It's like,
That's
well, what do
true.
I do now?
That's true. Judd, what time do you have to be out?
40 today.
Oh, 40 today. So we got you. We're going to annoy you for another 5 minutes.
Yes.
Damn right you can.
You know who's a pain in the ass is that Judd. It's unbelievable. Now, look, I will still watch my Twins all the rest. That was a very, very frustrating. They had that game in the bag and had to throw the worst pitch I've ever seen to lose it. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And 1 strike away, right?
One strike
up by
away.
1 at the time.
Yeah.
1 strike away.
Yeah,
and again, just throw the fastball. Just to have Duran throw his fastball.
This is a guy.
Fastball.
This is a guy who has thrown 12 of the 13 fastest balls this year.
That's correct.
That's crazy.
It's like
Well, let's not throw that.
So no. You know what? They'll be expecting the fastball. Well, of course they are, because it's 103 miles an hour.
They're literally pooping their pants expecting it.
So I'm going to spike that slider 3 feet in front of home plate.
Okay, we could have been up 7. Now we're only up 5 because of that stupid-ass loss yesterday. Are they even going to win the division? Are they going to cave in like they did last year?
I think they're going to win it because I think Cleveland, despite the Guardians' success against the Twins, I don't think they're going to have as much success in September because their schedule is tougher. The Twins' schedule is actually not tough at all.
Not
they
at
get
all,
the
yes.
Mets.
Right.
They do have to play the Guardians for 3, but Cleveland, I mean, keep in mind, you guys, Cleveland was a half game back at the trade deadline and dumped.
They did.
They got rid of their best pitcher.
They did.
So, like the Twins, now, if the Twins do choke this thing away, the amount of changes that will be made will be phenomenal. Because if you don't win this division,
You
I
gotta
think you
change
got to
everything.
fire. You got to fire some people.
Oh, you got to fire everybody on the management side of that team.
I mean, Rocco starting, but I mean, you got to look
Yes.
at everybody.
Yeah, you do.
Everybody.
You absolutely do. I just, for a minute there, I thought to myself, has this guy got a wager against himself? Is that why he threw such a horrible pitch? I mean, is he making money off of this somehow? I just see no reason for him to have done that.
Yeah, but Judd is right about that. You see confident veteran pitchers just shaking their head.
Yeah.
No, not going to throw that one. No, not going to throw that one.
Right.
But you don't see that from him.
I don't know. The guy's a hell of a pitcher, but he makes some mistakes I just don't get.
This team, though, the one thing that I will say, not to their credit, they are impossible to like. Every time you start to like them, they
You're right.
bleep up. They are impossible to like. It's like, okay, they won a game against Cleveland. They came back from, a 5-0 deficit against Texas. Hey, there might be something here. Every time they make it, they basically say, oh, no, we can screw this up. Watch us do it. They are impossible to embrace. I hate this effing team.
There's Judd talking to himself.
Rudy already made you a drop. He just played. We hate those.
Yeah, which is why my billboards just have my face and say prick.
Yep. Did you see it? We already got that going for you.
And Rudy's got that
Man,
going
I
for
feel
me,
like
too.
I've passed the legacy on.
You have to hand it up, that mantle.
But look at the bright side. 6 months from now, well, not 6 months, 6 weeks from now, all of this vitriol will be channeled at the Vikings.
That's true. But there's a team that can win a lot of regular season games but can't do a damn thing in the playoffs. Is that going to happen again?
Well, probably. I mean, what's the over/under? Probably about 8.5, 9.
Ooh, good call. No, I think it is. I think it is right now 8.5. I think you just nailed it.
Is it?
Well, I do look at these things occasionally. But,
You mean from a gambling perspective?
well, every now and then.
Every now and then.
I get bored,
Perspective on it?
Yeah.
Oh.
So do you think the Vikings are going to win, that's it?
Well, I mean that's kind of a logical thing. That it's the Vikings, right?
It's the
They'll
Vikings.
be a little better than average.
I just remember last year, the regular season, they were just kicking ass. Once they even breathed anywhere near the playoffs, they were horrible.
They're
It's
gonna.
because the quarterback checked down on
Yeah.
4th and 8. He threw a 3-yard check down.
Yeah, he did. 3 yards.
I remember talking to Tom going, but they had the biggest comeback in the history of football. And you said to me, do you remember what you said to me?
No.
They shouldn't have been playing that shitty that they needed to come back.
Well, see.
He's not wrong.
And it was
That's exactly right.
I thought it was so funny because everyone I was around was celebrating, and I called you for something, and you were like, said that, and I was laughing so hard. That's a good point.
Of course, I've been watching the Vikings play since the day they got here.
Yeah.
And maybe this is just me, but of all the people I've seen on the field in all those years, the one guy who really stands out to me, the guy I remember most, is Armin Terzian.
Armin Terzian, when he got hit by the whiskey bottle.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hit him right in the head.
Right?
Wow. Who hasn't been there?
No, of course.
Well, you did it to yourself.
Exactly.
I love it.
Hit it hard.
Armin, look
I
up.
gotta run.
Bye, Judd.
All
Sorry
right,
about the
thank
time.
Judd.
See y'all later.
See you
Bye.
later. Judd Zulgad, ladies and gentlemen, SKOR North. Yeah, that, the rumor was out there that it was a very, very well-known car dealer
Really?
that threw
Did
that
it?
bottle that hit him.
So was Sprinthal.
Yeah, it was Doug
His
Sprinthal.
aim isn't that good.
Yeah, he couldn't do it. That's
car
right.
dealer, huh?
That's what I understand.
Well,
They
you know,
never
that-
proved who did it, I don't think.
That son of a bitch should not have been throwing that bottle at Armin Terzian, the referee, because it could have hit an innocent person.
Yeah.
You could instead of a ref.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
That's hilarious.
It's hard to argue. It's hard to argue that point. Look, I'm a huge Twins fan, and that's why I get so
Of course.
wound up about this.
You're emotionally invested.
I really am. Always have been since
Get a
I was
life,
9 years
Tom.
old. I should get a life.
Get a life. I will act like the biggest fan in the world if they make it to the playoffs ever, so I hope you know that. Because I have all the Twins gear. I like going to the games. But you know how I pretty much wait. I will be the bandwagon
You think
fan.
about that, though. You were only, 9 the last time they were in the Super Bowl?
Wasn't it? Or you mean Vikings or
77.
Twins? Oh, what's that?
Super Bowl's the football deal.
No, I was talking about the Twins when I said
I thought you were talking about the football team. We
No.
had moved on, like the rest of us moved on.
Yeah, I understand.
You're a disaster.
Well, I don't want to move on.
How do you let us
I
down
don't blame
again,
you.
Brittany?
Sorry, my bad.
Okay, so if the Twins ever win the World Series again?
I would totally, because I have all the gear. I used to live right next to the stadium and go to the games once in a while. If they start playing well, I will be back. I will be that person who jumps so quickly back on that bandwagon. I will be wearing my hats, wearing my jersey. I will do all the things. Same with the Vikings.
Were you born in 87?
86.
86. So you don't remember either one of the World Series?
No.
Yeah, because you'd have been less than 1 and less than 4.
So I remember I was pretty excited when they had the biggest losing streak a couple of years ago. That was exciting
that
and
deal
notable.
Well, how about the time when Miguel Sano struck out 11 times
Oh
in a
my
row?
God!
that's
how
just
did that guy
impressive.
ever make it to the major leagues?
It's
How?
just crazy.
He should have never been in the major leagues.
And then of course they just couldn't quit him after.
No,
that.
right. You're right.
I remember because in the game where he struck out, when he set the record, tied the record for most consecutive strikeouts,
Mm-hmm.
the guy who covered the Twins for the Star Tribune did not mention that in his story. You think that guy might have been afraid of upsetting anyone?
Really? You think that's
Did
why?
not mention it.
Let me ask you, who wrote the story?
Do you think that might have been my lead if I'd been covering the
Yeah,
Twins?
just maybe.
Yeah.
That's why you and I got along from day one, because I did bobbleheads and you wrote good stories.
Yeah.
It was
Well,
phenomenal.
Who was more effective? You know, everyone
Tom
says that
was.
you helped that team.
They hit plenty of home runs when I want to tap the nog and get that head bobbing,
Yeah.
baby.
We got to get you back in bobblehead mode. Maybe we'll just do a live feed of you watching the game.
Works for me.
Well,
Just
he
bobblehead.
turned Joe Rudy into a 125 batter.
Oh my
You're
God, does
welcome,
he get pissed
Joe.
off at me? Rudy sucks. I will never forget Joe Rudy sucks with beer. The old paper beer mugs.
Yeah.
This guy out in left field because there was a chain link fence at the time. Kept sticking through until it finally spelled out Joe Rudy sucks.
Oh.
It was phenomenal.
Poor Joe Rudy.
Can you
Poor
imagine?
Joe Rudy.
You're
He's a
getting
pretty
up
good
there,
player.
you're going to go hit,
he
and all of a
was.
sudden you look,
And
and
it
there's
says,
that
"You
Joe
suck."
Rudy. Just seeing your name.
Well-
Brittany Artisan sucks. Good thing my name's so long.
I told you the bus story that's happened to me.
What? Oh, yeah.
I'm doing voiceover over at the old cookhouse when it was over on the Lumber Exchange building.
Oh, sure.
This woman's in from out of town. We go over to the Pickled Parrot, have a little lunch. She's sitting with
Been
her-
there a few times.
I've been there a few times. She's sitting with her back to the window. I'm facing the one. She said, I understand you do a really big morning show here. I said, yeah, it's doing really, really well. And she goes, And they said that apparently they promote you a lot. You got a bunch of bus signs. I haven't seen one yet. I said, well, there's a bus stop right behind you, and when a bus comes by, if it's got the sign on it, the Tom Barnard Morning Show sign, I'll just point out, you can look at it. She goes, yeah, I'd like to see it. So that's fine. Mm-hmm. So I'm talking to her, and this bus pulls up, and I can see that it's a Tom Barnard Morning Show sign on the side of the bus.
Yeah.
And I'm about to say, there's a bus right behind you, but then the whole thing came into picture, and it said, the Tom Barnard Show, with an arrow pointing to Tom Barnard that said, asshole.
You're like,
so I didn't.
Ma'am, look over here. There's no bus over there. Just ignore that.
What do you mean, bus? I don't see any buses.
That's
what
somebody
are you talking
else's
about?
show. I don't know who that is.
God, it was hilarious. But I did point it out. So even though it said asshole, I said, there's one right there. And then she went, asshole? That's kind of funny, actually. She thought it was hilarious.
You're like, well, it's not always inaccurate.
And-
It depends on the
Right.
day.
And
That's
at that
exactly
point,
right.
Craig Weiss hired her to be a producer.
Oh, I miss him.
I know that's an inside reference. I'm so sorry, bud.
Craig Weiss was a brilliant commercial writer.
Oh, he's fantastic.
I mean, he was very, very talented.
Yeah.
And here's a guy, by the way, might have had a drink or two too many.
Yeah.
Stuck his hand to clean out his lawnmower and cut off the middle fingers on his right hand. Cut them both off, right?
It can happen.
But the best thing about Weiss is his sense of humor was brilliant. So we're at Cookhouse. We both have to go to the men's room. We're down there, and there's a guy that's already in there. And so Craig goes to the urinal, goes over and washes his hands. He's going, son of a bitch, this thing doesn't work at all. I said, what's the matter? He goes, this soap thing's broken. I said, what are you talking about? And he's trying to pump soap through his hole in his hand.
No.
It was fun. And the guy's in there, he's like, well, I said, don't even bring it up to him. Don't even bring it up to him at all.
He's got a pinky landy
The soap
strip.
is going right through the hole in his hand. God, that was phenomenal.
It was Weiss who inspired me when I gave this pep talk to my Little League team.
Mm-hmm.
I love to give pep talks to the Little League team, but all the other guys, the coaches, are saying, yeah, you got to focus, Jimmy. Me, I just tried to distract them. I didn't want them thinking about baseball at all.
No, I understand.
You want them to be loose, right?
Yeah.
So it's opening day, and our team was sponsored that year. I know what you're thinking, like maybe Anheuser-Busch.
Yeah, something real big.
Applebee's. No, it was Irv's Lawn Repair.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And
very big deal.
very big deal. Irv's was. So I'm sitting there, and I got my team all huddled together, and I'm saying, guys, this is going to be a great day. Oh, look, there's Irv. Irv's here. Of course, so Irv was actually played by Bob Lundegaard.
Oh, yeah, right. I loved Bob
Oh,
Lundegaard.
fantastic guy.
Great guy.
Always my greatest inspiration when I was working at the Tribune, because
he was a terrific guy.
and he was funny. He still is funny. He's still around,
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's like 91 now.
I was going to say he's got to be in his 90s.
Yeah, and
But he was good,
Lundy was always my best friend at the paper. So and he was great on stage too. So I had Lundy playing the part of Irv. So I said, Irv, say a few words to the guys. Now my team is all huddled around, and they're looking very somber. And Irv says, I just want you guys to know that this is the greatest day in the life of any ball player, and I want you to know how lucky you are to be here on this beautiful day. He said, the reason I got into the lawn repair business was because I used to mow lawns in the off season down in Florida, because we didn't make the kind of money guys make today. And he said I was a good minor league player. I was probably going to make it to the major leagues.
Mm-hmm.
But then one day I was mowing a lawn and I had a terrible accident. And then he holds up his hand. He's wearing a glove, and he's got two fingers curled up so you can't see them.
Oh my God.
So it looks like he just has three fingers, right? And he says, yeah. I had an accident there, and I lost a couple fingers. He said, I tried to come back, but I could only call for the fastball.
There you go. Well, at the bar.
Did they laugh, or were they just like wide-eyed?
They were just confused.
Yes.
Which was the point. So, and then he walks away, and the kids are there, and they're just like totally stupefied, exactly where I want them.
Yeah.
Sure.
They're not thinking about anything. They're just confused. What just happened?
Yeah.
And then finally, there's a total silence for about 10 seconds. Nobody said a thing, and then this one kid says, I'm not even sure that was Irv.
Yeah, we used to do that too. Go to a bar. 5 whiskeys, please. Like some 5 whiskeys. They're like, what? We better take a break here. We only got, oh my God, we're all going to come back and close it out right after this. I am so happy to welcome back our longtime friend, Sabre Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, to the show. I've known Steve, the owner, for many years, and I completely trust Sabre to keep my house comfortable. Why? Sabre does everything the right way, and they always put the customer first. I love the team at Sabre because their service experts are experienced NATE certified technicians. They're not salespeople. Their pricing is completely upfront, and they fix only what needs to be fixed, nothing more. Sabre is dedicated to giving customers what they need, when they need it, and at the fair price, keeping your family safe and comfortable without breaking the bank. Give Sabre Heating and Air Conditioning a try. I know they'll take care of you just like they've taken care of me and my family. Whether you need a new Bryant furnace or air conditioner replaced or just simply need a service call to get you going again, go to saberheating.com. That's SABRE heating.com. Sabre and Bryant, whatever it takes. Dougie, how's life in Baldwin?
I love it, though it's a bit hard to find a half-calf, decaf, heavy foam.
I'll give you some heavy foam.
Yeah, that's what he said. Anyway, I just came back from the National Ford meeting and got to hear Bill Ford, Henry's grandson, and Jim Farley, who's the CEO, talk about the future of the company. It was really interesting, and I learned some cool stuff. Read this.
Ford builds more vehicles in the USA than any other brand. Huh? I thought it would have been Tesla.
Not even close. Keep reading.
Ford outsold Toyota in 2022 and is on track to do it again. I didn't know that either. Probably these commercials.
Yeah, sure, pal.
Ford has successfully partnered with the UAW and hasn't suffered a strike in over 40 years. Ford also has the largest number of assembly workers in the United States.
You know, Tom, I've really fallen in love with the product. From the electrics to the Super Duties, thanks to you, a lot of people have reached out to put Ford on their list. If you want to talk cars in general or Ford specifically, reach out to me at Doug@flagshipford.com.
Flagshipford.com. You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust, who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation, 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
On MyPillow's 20-year anniversary with over 80 million pillows sold, Mike Lindell and the MyPillow employees want to thank each and every one of you by giving you the lowest price in history on their MyPillows. Queen-size MyPillow's regular price is $69.98. Now only $19.98 and just $10 more for king size. MyPillow's patented fill adjusts your exact individual needs to help you get the best sleep ever. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square to get Mike's amazing offer on the queen size MyPillow for only $19.98. Enter promo code TOM. In addition to this special anniversary offer on the MyPillows, you will also receive deep discounts on all MyPillow products such as bed sheets, mattress toppers, pet beds, mattresses, My Slippers, and so much more. Take advantage of the biggest sale in MyPillow's history. Go to MyPillow.com, use promo code TOM to take advantage of Mike's special offer on his MyPillow. That's MyPillow.com, promo code TOM. We are back, and what a way to wrap up the show, 9:54. The weirdest baby names last year.
Ooh, I like this.
It's getting worse by the year, by the way.
Did somebody just take a look at a college football roster?
Yeah, well, very good point, actually. Okay, you ready for the weirdest girls' names?
Yes, I want to hear them.
These are real names, by the way. And you aren't going to believe number one in either one of these categories, boys or girls.
I'm actually super nervous. So the big trend right now in baby names is old names, like old-fashioned names.
Not in this list.
But I'm terrified.
But these are the weirdest list.
Yeah, this is the weirdest. Okay, I'm ready.
These are real names. These are not made up.
Oh, no.
You ready?
Okay, you have your babies handed to you, and you look at their eyes.
Okay, so Gogo's name is not her name.
No.
It has to be Cinderella.
No.
Strawberry.
No.
Chai, as in the tea.
Oh, sure.
Bethlehem. Canary.
I think that's going too far.
How about menorah?
I like that. You
Nora?
know, because most people don't know what a menorah is, but it sounds like a name.
How about Pearly? Like in Pearly Gates.
Yeah, if their last name was Gates, yeah.
This one, they say, well, this kid's going to be a stripper. A girl named Sparkle.
Oh, no.
Yeah, kid's got no shot.
Sparkle. Katniss, like the Hunger Games character. Delight. Banksy, but number one, the weirdest girl's name, somebody actually legally named their daughter Minnow.
Minnow.
Why would you name your daughter Minnow?
Nickname Minnie?
Well, Minnie's fine. Minnie's fine. Wilhelmina is where that came from.
I actually don't mind the name Chai. Out of all those names, I would think Chai is like, it's kind of cute, little Chai.
Wasn't the head of the FCC, his last name was Minnow, right? Isn't that was the guy for a long time?
That sounds right.
Newton Minnow.
Newton Minnow.
Which is a...
Minnow?
Could you imagine having your baby and going, Newton Minnow?
Newton Minnow.
That cannot be real.
Well, imagine being a congressman named Newt.
Yeah.
Or Gingrich, for that
Gingrich.
matter.
Well, yeah, either way.
That's a rough one.
All right, the boys' names.
All right, let's hear
Equally odd. Awesome.
No.
That's hard to live up to.
It's kind of hard to live up to being awesome.
I mean, aren't we all
Oh,
awesome?
jeez. These might be worse than the girls' names. We got awesome. We got Lancelot.
No. Just do Lance.
Lance is good. Forbes.
Okay.
Crash. Legal name, Crash.
I don't know if you want to inspire your kid with that name.
How about Ruckus? Name your kid Ruckus. These are all real legal names of people.
Ruckus is a last name, not a first.
You're asking for your kid to get kicked out of middle school with a name like Ruckus.
Or how about Chaos? Name your kid Chaos. That's nice of you.
Well, this is all like the boy named Sue kind of thing. You know?
Kind of.
It's the same thing, you know. Your kid's going to be tough with a name like that.
Because of another name for this bird, why would you name your boy Rooster?
No.
Rooster.
Well, there was Rooster Cogburn. There was
Rooster Cogburn, yep.
sure.
That was a nickname, though, thank God.
Sure.
Come on, Rooster, clean up your room. You can't just sit around all day.
Cockadoodle-dooing. I don't know how
You
you
guys,
want to
it's
say that.
so hard to have a baby. Like, so much work goes into creating, carrying, birthing, and then they hand this baby to you and you say, Rooster.
Rooster.
Oh, sure.
How about Cotton?
No.
No.
Well,
I
Cotton,
agree.
that's a southern name.
Yeah.
Cotton Gin. Is it Gilead from Handmaid's Tale?
Oh, Gilead.
Oh, Gilead, okay.
Yeah,
Gilead, I thought that was a girl's name.
Gilead. It's the country that they formed in Handmaid's
Oh, it is,
Tale.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. How about naming your son Clever?
That's rough.
Well, and you know that kid isn't.
I know.
Yes, well, exactly. Fender, after the guitar, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not as mad about Fender.
Daytona.
Dayton.
We're talking about someone from the South there.
Chris Egert's is Dakota. His kid says Dakota, which I think is a super cute
A lot
name.
of Dakota kids, yeah.
Love that.
How about Utah?
Nope.
No.
How about Texas?
Well,
Tex.
Naming your kid, Tex.
He's probably really far away from Texas too. He's like lives in Maine.
Probably.
Yeah.
You got Barley.
No.
Named after an ingredient in beer.
No.
Oh, sure.
And like, think of the nicknames. Bar.
This last one, the biggest one, this kid better be tough, is all I'm saying in school. Legally named their son Dragon. Why would you name your kid Dragon?
Maybe the kid was just well endowed.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was dragging on the ground.
Gross. We're talking about
Look,
babies.
honey, he's dragging on the ground.
Your
Let's
joke
name
is
him Dragon.
gross.
Way to go, Gelfand.
Gelfand.
I knew it was wrong, but it was too late.
It was too late. I had already said it.
You're a disaster, Gelfand. That's all I have to say to you.
We had some friends name their kid Bronson Danger.
Bronson Danger.
Yeah.
And what's he like?
Okay.
He's a cool kid.
Yeah, Bronson's actually pretty cute.
Bronson's cool, middle name Danger.
Better be tough. That's all I'm saying. All right, that is going to do it. We'll talk to you later.